Hi everyone, this is Michael Conan representing the TooMedToo's Star Wars Network, and this is officially episode 1 of TooMedToo's Bacta Tank. We've had some stuff on YouTube before, some live chats and a little bit of the Bacta Tank, but this is going to be the number 1 official Bacta Tank because we are now podcast ready. We're going to start off on Anchor, and we're going to move on from there. Yeah, that's pretty much the news for right now. If you want to find me anywhere, it's TooMedToo, TooMedToo, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any of that stuff. And today in the Bacta Tank, we have not there right now. Oh, there he is, Charlie Skywalker. But
Afternoon, everybody.
he's wearing a Patriots hat, so I don't know how long he'll stay on this one for. Then we also have Ro from the Scarif podcast.
How's it going, everybody?
And we have Jameson from the Rancor Review.
Hey, everybody. Nice to join everybody and talk.
I just want to start off by thanking everyone for being here today. We're going to do, it ended up, the plan, I usually don't have too much of a plan, but the stuff I want to kind of talk about, it all ended up being cartoon stuff or animation to start off with. But I just want to thank my Patreons for their support. We have Chris from Kentucky, Mr. Rez, Kylo from Kylo Customs, and Rural Farm Boy. And if you want to hear your name and be special, all you need to do is go to that Patreon. I don't have any cheers or anything. It's just, to help because, websites cost money and computers cost money and memory costs money and cameras and everything. So it's just, I'm not going to use it for my toy addiction. It will go to making the stream and podcast better. I just kind of want to do the first thing really is talk about yesterday was the end of Resistance, and we had a 2-year run with Resistance, and I know there was a lot of mixed feelings about the show. I really liked it. It was kind of childish. It was geared towards children. It wasn't something that was more kind of got into like heavy episodes or arcs like the Clone Wars did. It was nominated for Children's Cartoon Awards or whatever. It won one, I think. I'm not really sure. I didn't look too much into it. But it had some ups and downs. It was some of it was people complained that they were filler episodes or didn't really give us much. The end of the first season ended really strong, and the end of the series, the second season, ended really strong. And then it was just kind of, the episodes were kind of hit or miss in between there. I guess we can just go start. Anybody want to start? Or you want to just go counterclockwise or whatever? Oh, Jameson wants to start because I know Jameson and I have been talking a little bit on Twitter. He's also doing a Clone Wars rewatch.
Yes,
I'm doing one in chronological order, but I kind of got stuck. I'm on probably out of the 120 episodes or whatever. I'm on episode like 18 or 19, so I only got to do about an hour a day, and I'll still have a little bit of time to catch up. But yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
And Jameson, okay, what do you feel about the Resistance and where?
All right. Well, this is what I got. I have not watched season 2 at all, so I'm clueless to everything. Now, I've watched about the first 5 episodes of season 1, but since Disney Plus came out, I've been watching Clone Wars and Rebels again. So I've not watched all of season 1. But don't be fearful. You can talk and say what I'm not spoiler worried. So that's what I got for Resistance. That's it. Next.
All right. And we're just joined by Andy. Andy, thanks for joining us.
What's up, guys?
Andy, tell everybody where you're from.
I'm from Kelso, Washington. I'm one half of the Holo Chronicles podcast where we talk about toys a lot. And I heard there was going to be maybe some unboxings later on. I don't know. But we can talk cartoons.
Well, there's always some unboxings. There's a special unboxing I'm going to do while Andy's here. So if at any point in time you need to leave, so everybody knows this sometimes goes long. But if you just want people to just stop in and ask one question really quick, some people stay on for an hour or two. So I've had people, they come in and say, hey, I want to do this. We talk about something for 2 minutes and they leave. So that's kind of what it's all about. Whatever, if you got a Monday night free and you want to stop in and talk Star Wars, this is kind of where you can do it because, everybody's invited and there's really, I don't have a set schedule for topics or a lot of time on what we need to talk about. But yeah, I think I have something that Andy should be on here when I open it up. But we'll see how that turns out. And in Andy being on the other side of the world from me, when he's getting ready to go to bed, I'm sometimes tweeting him that I should have already been to bed 3 or 4 hours ago. But all right, Ro, have you been into Resistance?
Yeah, I think I'm like Jameson. I have not seen the second season. I started watching the first season with my son, and we enjoyed it. We kind of trailed off. Everybody asks me if I'm watching Resistance, is it good? They want to try to get everybody's 2 cents. And you're right, Michael. It is a little on the kiddie friendly, even more so than Rebels when it first came out. I think it's geared to even younger audiences, and I think that's okay. I think once you strip away, and this is what I always say, once you strip away all that kids stuff, when you get into the story points, I think it's really good Star Wars. I think the end of season 1 was really dramatic. The way the characters ended up. Said the core characters in the Fix-It shop all kind of separated, if I'm remembering correctly. I think we've got some really great drama between. I can't remember all the characters' names because, like I said, I haven't really gone deep into it. But I like it. I think somebody had said that either end of February season 2 is going to be on Disney Plus. So I'll definitely and I've got the app. I'll probably catch up.
That's my plan too.
Yeah.
February, sometime in February, it comes on to Disney Plus. And I don't think Charlie Skywalker's seen any of Resistance or any season 2. Charlie, are you there?
Again, yeah, like most of you guys, I've watched the first season. I liked it. It was a lot really kid friendly. It was fun stories. I don't think it was meant to be anything too serious. It wasn't as earth-shaking as one of the feature films. It didn't really get in depth as, say, like the Clone Wars, but they were fun. I enjoyed the.
And Charlie's gone.
We lost him.
It happens with Charlie sometimes. He's over in the New Mexico desert, and a lot of times it's driving back and forth or running around doing husband and dad duties. So
it's a dry heat down there.
Didn't he just come back from a trip from to Acto? He was out in the mountains somewhere.
Yeah, the mountains of Acto. I think it was on some a retreat of some sorts. But all right. Andy, have you kept up with the Resistance at all?
I did season 1 with my kids, and then season 2 we're about 3 episodes in, but I'm way behind.
Yeah.
I know we'll get to it, but with my oldest son, he's 12. We've been doing a Rebels rewatch, and because he hasn't seen that yet, and so we've kind of put Resistance on the back burner to go through Rebels with him. So that's where we're at right now. I know we'll get to Resistance, but we just haven't yet.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine was gonna try and stop on here. He has a podcast that records on Monday nights. He was gonna try and stop on, but it's one of those things that, he hands the kids off and goes to record. So, he said he didn't think he'd be able to do it, but he was going to try and squeeze in a few minutes. But such is life. It's understandable. Unfortunately, family first when it comes to Star Wars. But
not Star Wars family first.
I mean, it depends on how mad my girlfriend is at me. Like that's why I'm in. She was able to. The restaurant's been going pretty good, so she was able to hire a manager underneath her, so she hasn't been working as much. So it's a good thing that she's off now Mondays, and if she does have to work, she's home early, which just means that now when I record Mondays, I'm in the living room instead of my recording studio, which is in the bedroom. That's why I just, she hasn't really bitched too much about the toys behind me that I just kind of leave there, so I don't have to move them back and forth, or at least have some kind of Star Wars stuff. That's just kind of, she kind of gave up on nagging on me. But I believe.
Speaking of Star Wars family, there's a lot of familiar faces in the chat room. Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody. That's true. I'm horrible with the chat. That's why it's always good when Rural Farm Boy's here, because he usually keeps an eye on that for me. But yeah, there is. We got Mr. Rez and Dale and Lauren. Lauren's possibly going to stop on here in a second or two and talk to us about her views on Resistance. And Jedi Fangirl, I believe she's new or newer to the stream. And we have Kylo just got here from Kylo Customs. So thanks everybody for stopping in, and we got some people in here watching that aren't in the chat, so that's always good. That's welcome too. It's I don't want to be one of those people, but it just seems like they could have done so much more with Resistance. I don't want to be those hashtag missed opportunity people. Mm-hmm. But it's just some of it lagged. I'm hoping that the way it ends isn't really that climatic or anything major happens, so we're going to get more of their story in comic books, or in a couple of years they do the Resistance Part 2, because
where are they now? The Resistance, where are they now?
Resistance, where are they now? When they announced that it was ending after 2 seasons, I said, great, it's going to go into The Rise of Skywalker, and The Rise of Skywalker is going to happen, and then in a year or two they're going to bring it back, which means if it's happening in a year or two, they already have it written and done and already in production, because those things take a year or two, and then it's going to be them going the Resistance Squad or Fireball Squad or whatever you want to call it, going around and rounding up kind of like good bounty hunters, getting Imperials that were left over. That was my idea, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be like that. It seems like it's just kind of left as, this is what Star Wars is going to be. It's just going to be stories about for a season or two of this little group, kind of like a lot of the British. In America,
Mm-hmm.
in America, we tell stories, and our TV shows are on until they end up being the last couple seasons. They're so horrible nobody watches them. You go over to like a British shows. They stop in the height of it, in the middle of it.
Yeah.
They were going to tell a story for 3 seasons. They tell that story for 3 seasons, and it's right when it's hitting its peak, it's over, because the story's over. Why have it? A good story turn into crap just for ratings and views.
And they take a year off to do the writing and all the back end stuff, and then they for us that sometimes we wait for new season of Doctor Who, and it's like 2 years later. Or other shows, it's it seems daunting to us Americans to have to wait 2 years for the next season to come out, but it does pay off. My wife and I watch a lot of BBC, and it's really great writing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, about 4 seasons top is probably all you're going to get out of BBC, I think.
Well, I've talked about it a few times before. I used to watch a lot of TV, and I would watch TV. Some shows weren't even good. It was just because there was something to watch. When I wasn't listening to podcasts, and it's like the more Star Wars podcast I'm doing, or listening to live chats, or being in live chats, or whatever. I kind of got to where I don't even come home and turn on the TV to see, okay, what was on tonight, and I'm going to watch, 2 hours of TV while I'm doing whatever, 3 hours of TV. and some of the shows are crap, but it's at least something to watch. Now it's kind of like I just pick a show and I'm like, oh, I used to watch NCIS, and then I'll watch that season for a week till I'm caught up. Or Shameless is coming to an end, or they have one season left, I think. So I watched, I binged Shameless for a couple of days and watched the 8 episodes or whatever it is, and I'll just find something new and I'll watch that for a couple of days instead of spreading out into things that are kind of crap. But okay, all right, here we go. We have Lauren coming in to talk to us.
Hey, Lauren.
I need
Hey, guys.
buddy.
What's going on?
Hey, I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
We saw that with The Mandalorian, that putting out one episode a week, was awesome. It kept it in the conversation for 8 weeks instead of just putting all 8 episodes out at once. I think that was a smart move. But do you think there's ever a good? I'm thinking like with Resistance, would it have been better if they just would have put all episodes out at once in this case, or was it still good to keep them one at a time, one a week for the whole season? What do you guys think?
I think, when I discussed this before Mandalorian came out, I discussed this with Alex on the pod, and I was all gung-ho about binging like the entire season all in one sitting or whatever.
Yeah.
But Alex had a good point that obviously for us who create content regularly, it was good for us to have one episode a week so we can talk about it, analyzing it, break it down, and then do the same thing on the next one instead of having the whole thing kind of come across all at one wallop. I do like binging, but I think I think I might be changing my mind here as far as one episode a week. I think it does give us some material to talk about, and it might be better that way. As far as I'm not sure if anybody was doing like a regular Resistance, kind of breakdown. I didn't see a lot of that versus the regular weekly breakdown of, something like The Mandalorian or Clone Wars even. So it's, and I think it's because it's definitely geared towards younger audience members, parents and their small kids are watching it. And that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I know. I can only think of one guy that I know of that was doing a weekly breakdown. That was Star Wars 7x7. But yeah, it definitely was aimed towards a younger crowd. And I'm an old guy, and if it weren't for my kids, I don't know if I would have seen it. I'm glad I have, but it probably wasn't going to get on my radar any other way.
I think
it's like the gateway drug for young Star Wars, fans. Get them in right away.
Yeah, I agree.
I
It
think,
was definitely more of a younger generation, younger Padawans, but it had some moments in it though. I watched all of them, watched the entire season, week by week, and it was obviously just kind of with any animated show, like even Clone Wars, there was just some of those kind of filler episodes that you're just like, oh, it was cool. It was something in Clone Wars, or you had Jar Jar and was it Mace Windu? So I mean, you had those filler episodes in this for sure, yeah. But overall, it was like I know Michael, you said earlier that the end of season 1 was really powerful, and it really was. It was a really, really cool way of seeing like the events that we know from a different perspective. And then season 2 it ends on a really strong note, I think as well. So, if you haven't seen it, I'd at least give it a try. It's Star Wars. It's still fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would definitely be watching it. It's just I was so caught up with The Mandalorian and Rise of Skywalker coming out, and I don't have we cut the cord many years ago, so we stream everything, and so I've been watching the first season with my son, but we just kind of got burnt out. He's into the Clone Wars just like me at the moment, so that's what we're rolling with. But I do like the one episode per week. I'm really sold on that now because there's so much more content to talk to, predictions, theories. I'm all about that, and I can really dive deep into whatever theory I can think of, I guess, or whatever one's proposed or possible.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think when it comes to like releasing everything at once or every week, it's much better to release everything or to release one episode a week instead of binging. I mean, to watch, it's fun to watch all 6 episodes in a weekend or in a day or whatever you're doing, cram them all in as fast as you can. But then you have where you also get to, if you're like us and not maybe the normal consumer of a lot of these TV programs, where we want to sit around and talk. I joked last week or a couple weeks ago, we're sitting here talking about Star Wars instead of watching Monday Night Football like the rest of America. You get that chance to talk about and break it down and watch the episodes a few times and see what you missed and catch up on the nuances and things like that. And I think it's better if for the show itself. I mean, I'm just going to use Stranger Things as an example because that's like the #1 show, up until The Mandalorian came out. But everybody watches it for that weekend or that week, and then after a week or two, no one's talking about it anymore, or very little. And this way, you have 2 months of talking about The Mandalorian. People are still talking about The Mandalorian, and everyone's excited that next month you have Baby Yoda, like official merchandise coming out, like the Funkos and things like that. And I think they were talking on Rebel Scum earlier that they're going to be doing a Baby Yoda Black series. I don't know if they were saying that they want that or they heard that. But I don't know if that's me. Oh, we're back. Okay. Except for Andy, but so I don't know. Everybody was saying what a mistake Disney made and Lucasfilm made by not putting out Baby Yoda merch, but for when he was brought onto the show, but that would have taken away from the big surprise. I've said that this Baby Yoda is a bigger surprise than I Am Your Father. Because just the amount of people it's brought into Star Wars. They might not give a shit about Star Wars, but they care about Baby Yoda, and they're going to buy Baby Yoda merch. And, it might die down, a few dollars on what they're going to spend because it doesn't come out till February, March instead of Christmas. But you know what? Baby Yoda's still going to be around for season 2, at least when season 2 starts, and that Baby Yoda merch is out for next Christmas. So what do they really lose? They have, they might have lost a few dollars in revenue for, I don't know if that's me that's losing everybody or I don't know. Are you guys losing?
I can still hear you.
I can hear you.
I got you.
It's you, man.
It's too bad Michael doesn't collect Funko Pops because there's some good ones coming out.
They might have lost a few dollars in. They might have lost a few dollars in revenue right off the bat, but in the long run, it's probably the best or the better decision because bring out Baby Yoda stuff. Nobody's going to buy Baby Yoda stuff, and then it's in the show. Now you've ruined the surprise. So it's kind of like if you have if you're going like with peaks and valleys with your marketing and your inventory, it would just kind of been going up and down like a roller coaster. Well, it's kind of like down, and the demand is so high. You're not going to be able to supply, and that's why you have Lucasfilm and Disney going after Etsy and everybody which they usually don't do unless it's something on TeePublic. But now they're going after everybody, getting stuff taken down because they're like, okay, this is what we did, this is how we're doing it, and our cash cows come in February and March when we don't sell anything. So yeah, that was my little rant about I don't know what. So
what's funny and like kind of think about this now, and I can't remember, someone talked about this on another podcast, and I can't remember who it was, and I apologize, but they were saying like in Chicago they knew they had this character in their back pocket, and yet they didn't even leak it, even like give a hint of what they had this entire time. That's crazy to me how they kept that character so well, like secret, and just like not even a word of it like got out from what I can tell. That's
and yet
amazing
the whole Rise of Skywalker got leaked.
That's fair, Andy.
Well, we know how to keep secrets in Chicago.
Hey, there you go, Ro.
Well,
Hey.
Ro, I know that
Hey.
you've interviewed Dominic Pace a few times, and he said that he didn't know. He knew it was something, but he didn't know what. He knew it was a baby or a child, but he didn't know what. He thought it was going to be one of the new three. He had no idea it was going to be Baby Yoda. So I think a lot of people on there didn't know it was Baby Yoda because they just knew it was something. So there was very few people that knew. So if it's something like that, you can kind of pinpoint who leaked that or let it out.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. That's the one really cool thing about I feel
in
is
the production.
Dave Filoni. Yeah, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. I think obviously they are uber fans of the franchise. They want to be able to give us the most bang for our buck as far as surprises goes. So kudos goes to them for being able to, and I think it's Dave Filoni really more that is able to kind of keep all those surprises in check. And obviously one of the biggest reasons not to release Baby Yoda stuff before that first episode of Mandalorian, I mean, that was a big spoiler.
Yeah.
It would have been a really big spoiler, and the impact of that scene would have been watered down if we already knew that he was coming. So that shot when when Baby Yoda comes up was just incredible. It was great. I think however they worked that out, kudos to them. It worked out flawlessly.
Well, can you imagine back in, let's say, in 1979, there were some T-shirts that said "Father and Son" and it's Vader and Luke. That was just ruined it.
Yeah, yeah.
It was the right move. Toy marketing be damned. It was the right move.
Well, I mean, I was over at Mike's house, so I went from Brooklyn to Queens and took the train and everything, and I stayed off the internet all day, or mostly, so I didn't get any spoilers. And we were sitting there watching on his couch, and it came out, and here's two guys from New York, and we're not like guily guys like crazy, whatever, but it's like we're just dudes, and we're sitting here like hugging each other and screaming like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, going crazy over Baby Yoda, which if there would have been a Baby Yoda T-shirt, it would just be like, oh yeah, dude, there he is. So I mean that's part of the whole. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they made a calculated decision on it. They rolled the dice, and I think their payoff was even bigger than they ever expected it to be.
And just think how crazy Twitter and Facebook and everything was whenever that scene happened. I mean, it was Baby Yoda everywhere. Hashtag Baby Yoda for days when that first came out. So I think they knew what they were doing or capitalized on the moment.
And they brought in so many fans. I think, like we were kind of just talking about, that are just super casual, probably fans, and now they're like, "Oh yeah, Baby Yoda!" Like they know that now. Like it's in the pop culture. It's like a vernacular that everybody uses now. It's everywhere, and that was, like you were saying, that was smart. It was smart that they kind of held that in their pocket.
Yeah, Semper Fi Danny has that point exactly. She says. I think the focus initially was just hyping Disney Plus and the fact that we were all surprised and thus talked excessively. Hyped Baby Yoda was free marketing. I totally agree.
Yeah,
that's
right.
perfect way
that's
to
a good point, Danny.
to put that. The other thing I wanted to talk, Charlie Skywalker just put up an interesting tidbit there that he heard a rumor today that George Lucas is on his way back in and is going to be doing something big with Filoni. I talked a little bit about that with a couple of buddies regarding Disney allowing George Lucas to come back, and I don't think that Disney would bring him back in any capacity. I think visiting the set is one thing, but either writing or directing something is probably something that Disney doesn't want to do.
Now, I would expect that Filoni and Lucas have a relationship and that they talk 100%. But
Filoni is Lucas's protege.
Yeah. And so I think that's probably the fact that they still talk and are probably on good terms and friends and whatever. They have a relationship that was established. I think that that would be a really easy way to begin a rumor like that because that relationship exists, and
Right.
so it would be really easy that now that the saga's done, now we're getting, all new stuff that sure, yeah, let's bring George back. Well, I just on a personal, I have nothing to substantiate this, but I think it's probably just rumor. It's a little clickbaity to me, but I could see where somebody might get that impression just because there is the relationship there, and it bring George back as the the prince of the parade, and walk him around the set, let him shake some hands and do all that, but he's more just like a
figurehead.
Figurehead, yeah.
Figurehead, yeah. That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
Do you guys think that he was like? I mean, yeah, he's probably on set. Do you think he gives a lot of input and they listen to him a lot? Though I feel like they would. Like if Dave went to George and was like, "Hey, what do you think of this? What about that?"
It's a weird situation for George because obviously that interview that he gave where he called Disney slavers. I mean, it was one of those things where, he basically said, "I sold the franchise, I sold Lucasfilm to Disney, and I can't look back." It's like you break up with a girlfriend, you can't like stalk her to see what she's doing. You can't look on her Facebook.
I wouldn't recommend
what
that
she's up
all.
to. Yeah, it's what.
Yeah, you don't call her up to see what's up.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I mean, that's where.
So it's.
I don't think that Disney would welcome him back with open arms or say, we want you to work on this project for this, because how do you tell him no? I mean, it's very easy to tell him no, but still he's George Lucas. It's his baby. He sold his baby, but it's still his baby. And I think Disney and Lucasfilm knows if they brought him back and he said, "This is what I want to do," and they said no, and there was a problem, that you're going to split the fandom, and the majority of the fandom when it splits is going to go with George. Because it's not, the prequels anymore that we hate him for, because he's not, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like they're just going to kind of go with George because he's the originator of it.
That's a cool word.
Thank you. It took me a little bit to get it. But, it's that college education.
My question is, does George want to?
That's a good question, James.
That's a good question too. I don't know if George wants to. I think we've seen, from this process of selling to Disney, the book and the leaks that came out from Bob Iger. I think he's kind of hurt. He's been hurt and probably doesn't want to experience that again. So I really don't think, I think deep down he has seller's remorse, but I don't think that he wants to go back.
Was talking about this.
I think it's kind of along the lines also of where if.
Go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead, Andy.
Paper, scissors, rock.
It's like if you've ever had a job that you've worked at, especially if it's like something like a restaurant and you're friends with everybody there, and you leave and you come back and you're still friends with everybody. You kind of miss it. You're happy you're not there, and you can pick out everything that's wrong a lot easier and say, "Hey, you should be doing this. You should be doing that." And when you go back there, it's just kind of like it's fun. It's like a party, but you don't want to really be there anymore because that's not what you're into. I mean, I don't know if that's like really a perfect analogy, but I think it's somewhere along those lines where he likes to go in there and he likes to say, "Do this, do that." We know with Solo, his really only input in Solo that we've been told or we know of is Han wouldn't hang up the shirt or whatever in the closet. He'd just throw it on. He would just throw it, which was perfect Han. Which if Han hung it up, we might not have even noticed it or thought about it. But subconsciously we watch it and it's like, that's what Han would do. So that was kind of perfect. So he brings aspects of that in. The new wants or they want him back, full time, full fledged. This is my job.
How old is he?
I think he's in his 70s.
All right, Andy,
I would think.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say, Mike, is that
I'd have to look at my.
Let me call George. I'll ask him the question, George.
Well,
He's 75.
if you go, I mean, George went from, the original trilogy where, he made one movie hoping to make another one, and then making Empire with a cliffhanger ending, so he had to make a third one. And then fast forward 20 years to the prequels, where he was just making it as an independent, he was making it on his own terms, and nobody was telling him no about anything. Like, he was like carte blanche, because it was all him. And then to come back, and then to sell off, and then to come back, and only to have people, around him. You got to run everything by, George. I would think George is not the kind of guy at this point with Star Wars that he would want to have to run everything by other people to see if it sticks, and especially being an older guy. Not that he's losing his mind or anything, but it's like, how much energy do you want to put into that when it's no longer yours anyway? So
exactly. And as a filmmaker coming up, when he was doing his THX 1138 and American Graffiti, I mean, it's one of those things that he did Star Wars, and he wanted to be as separate from the Hollywood system as he could, setting up his shop in Northern California and not running credits at the beginning of his films. He gets in trouble with the Directors Guild. I mean, to be able to, and then now he sells Star Wars to Disney, the biggest corporate entity on the planet. I mean, I can't see him being, kind of an underling as far as that goes. I think, his spirit is in independent filmmaking, as, as rich as he is, from a storytelling, I guess, from a storytelling perspective, and the talents that he has as a world builder. I just can't see him going back and being just another cog in the Disney wheel.
And he's not hurting for money.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
I mean, he gave away his $4 billion to his charity. He didn't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he would definitely come back. That won't happen. I really do feel that, though. He is definitely, maybe they talk to him on the side, say, hey, we're kind of thinking this idea for this character, or this and that. What do you think? How would that play out in your head or in your mind? I do feel like they ask him for information as far as his input. I personally think they'd probably do that a lot, especially with Mandalorian. It's just a gut feeling for me, just because of it's Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, and I think they respect George so much that I think they probably talk to him on the side and say, hey, we're thinking about this. What do you think? How might you go about this story in this way? And maybe pick his brain a little bit. Again, I don't think he's coming back. He's not going to direct an episode. That would be wild, but I don't think he will. I don't think they would. But yeah, I think they do still use him as a big, advice counselor in a way of what they're doing, what's going on.
He's their Wikipedia, probably.
Right. No, exactly.
They go to him,
I agree with
and
you,
say,
Jason.
hey. And I'd say Dave definitely is probably I'm talking to him. Hey, how about this? How about that? Would this work? But I don't foresee him doing anything either, or anything big.
And he also, because he has that relationship with Filoni, I bet he probably thinks that Star Wars is in pretty good hands with him. And prior to the Disney thing, he had a relationship with Kathleen Kennedy too. And they worked together quite a bit. So, given that, he did sell it off to the corporate entity that Disney is, there were still people within Disney that he had relationship with and trusted, and it just, to me, it just doesn't make sense that he would be anything more than a visit every once in a while on the set. And that's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think it's more than just a casual conversation that they have with him every now and then, and just pick his brain, or kind of see what he thinks and things like that. Yeah, he's not coming back to direct a movie or anything like that. I swear I saw that on Twitter the other day. George is coming. I'm like, stop it, people. He's not coming back. As much as maybe we all wouldn't mind it, it's not going to happen. I think he's moved on. I think that Lucasfilm as a whole has maybe accepted that George is still a part of them, but not the creative head. It's Kathleen Kennedy now, and he trusted her. I mean, I think a lot of people forget that he trusted her with running Lucasfilm. Like that was his pick from all accounts. So I mean, she'd probably be another one that probably calls him every now and then and maybe has a chat. So I can see that. But yeah, anything beyond that, no, I don't. He's not doing anything with Star Wars.
Couple questions or things that came up in the chat. I think Semper Fi Danny just said she had a friend that worked at Lucasfilm post Disney, and George was still very active there.
I can see that.
But that's all relative to your term of very active. I'm not calling Semper Danny's friend out, but was he there once a week? Was he? Did they call him? I mean, that's kind of like that's what we want to know. We know that he's around somehow, and
That's a good point, Michael.
Is he active when there's a special part of a movie or for an arc of the Clone Wars, or is he is there selective times where they want more input than others from him? I think that would probably be more along the lines if he is active, it would probably be certain times or certain scenarios where they would look to him for guidance or input more so, except for Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni's probably just like, come on over and, have a Diet Coke with me every day because we're friends. We worked together for so many years. But everyone else might kind of be, holding him off to the side. And then I think Charlie Skywalker asked if there's a head of the story group. I think that's up to debate because you have Pablo Hidalgo, who we all call the head, the collective Star Wars community, we call him the head. But then you have Leland Shee, who is the holocron holder or whatever it is, and he's the one who actually decides what is and what's not canon. That's up to him, not the rest of the story group. Of course they all have input, but it's he's got the final stamp on it. I'm not sure how the veto power goes and anything like that, but and then you have they have certain parts where Matt Martin doesn't really deal with I might have this backwards, but Matt Martin doesn't really deal with the movies. He deals more with the animation and in the books. Where other people don't really deal with the animation of the books, they deal more with the movies. But I think it's more like this, where it's a group of us sitting around talking, and we're going to decide, okay, this is how we're going to do the story. All right, this is what we want to do. How it's going to go? Okay, well, we have this coming in, that going in. Rose the DJ, Scarif Podcast DJ.
You hear something going?
No,
Yeah.
nothing at all. I think we're about to be invaded. I'm scared.
Well, the saying is, Michael, that everything's canon until it isn't. So
yeah. But I mean, I think that's what the story group is. They don't really have. Yes, they do have roles probably on what is what their main points are, but they're not like, I'm the boss. This is what I say. This is how it goes. It's they're more of an autonomous group where they just kind of agree on things, for the betterment of what they feel Star Wars should be, instead of this is how I feel personally, this is how it's going to be. Because I mean, I'm sure they have non-disclosure agreements, but you never hear of them arguing or fighting with each other about. Now with the Rise of Skywalker, you heard that there was employees that weren't happy, but you didn't really hear about the story group.
Well, there were rumors about who's the story group employee that left? Katie Hart.
Carrie Hart.
Carrie Hart.
Carrie Hart.
Yeah, she didn't. She left right after The Last Jedi and under shadowy circumstances, and then you got she was gone, and then Rian Johnson hired her as part of his production company. So something goofy was going on there. We're not going to know the ins and outs of why she was let go for whatever reason. I did hear rumors that she was really adamant about including Ryan Johnson in episode 8 and his script and all this stuff. Again, those are just rumors that I heard. I don't know if there's any validity to them, but it would be interesting to find out why she was let go, what was going on, what's she doing now.
In 10 years, Netflix is going to have an awesome documentary on
I can't
on
wait.
all of this and include Colin Trevorrow and just like the story group. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Wait.
I can't wait for it.
Someone's writing a tell-all book eventually, I think. Yeah, for sure.
There's there are little
Bob
tidbits
Iger's going to do it.
Yeah, there are little tidbits in those making ofs. Like I picked up the Han Solo making of behind the scenes. There's a few sentences in there that talk a little bit about the problems behind the scenes. Obviously by Bob Iger's book. There's not like one collective book that's got all this stuff, but Andy, like you said, I'm waiting for that Netflix documentary.
Or maybe it's a Scarif podcast by Roe documentary.
There you
go. But that's I think it was Lauren I was talking to about the Star Wars books and how I've gone through with Audible. I've gone through pretty much all of the canon books. I'm on some of the YR, the Young Readers books, or like a normal Star Wars book is like 9 to 12, 13 hours novel wise for Audible. But there's a lot of books now that I'm getting to that are 4 hours and 6 hours. So they're like the YR or the ones that aren't like the big novels. But I'm also getting into like the philosophy of Star Wars books and the history and how Star Wars took over the world and things like that. So you're getting some tidbits of the OT and the prequels in there and things that went on. So, just like Andy said, in a few years, we're going to have books about what happened now. And, maybe I'm completely wrong and they all hate each other, but the money's too good, which I don't really think that's the case because I don't know. I could be wrong, but
I'm a sucker for behind the scenes stuff. Obviously, if anybody
same here
knows, my inspiration, I was inspired by the folks behind the scenes of Star Wars. And this is a good opportunity for me to plug our promotion going on. We've got like 7 followers left. If you guys are not following the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast, tag a friend and follow us and subscribe because this is a wonderful Creating the Worlds of Star Wars 365 Days. It's an incredible book that once we reach 1,500 followers, I'm going to give this out to one of you guys. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. Check it out.
I saw the video you had on YouTube with your gloves on, spanning through the book. That was very, very nice.
In Chinese.
His boxing gloves?
Yes.
It's weird.
My Palpatine gloves. They're rubber, but I won't go there.
All right. So, anyways, now the other cartoon thing we have coming up. Charlie, the road to 1,500. So everybody that's in this chat should be subscribed to them on Twitter, and even if you never watch it, go give them a subscribe on YouTube. It helps. It really helps. That's like with me. I'm trying to get to. I need 1,000 so I can live stream mobily. And so I can be at Celebration and I can be walking down while I'm streaming and people say, go look at this, go look at that. But you need 1,000 people to do that. There's a bunch of people like, oh yeah, you record and just upload it. Well, that doesn't help the people that can't be there to watch it and say, well, I want you to check out this. I want you to check out that. And, it's just, that's kind of what I'm doing. And I'm on pace for it, but some days are good. Some days aren't. The other day I got 12 people. The next day I got 0 according to their count. I don't think that's right, but however they count it up or divide the day. Anyways, on that note, Clone Wars.
Yes.
We got the Clone Wars coming up.
Never heard of it.
Okay. It's this little show that George Lucas and Dave Filoni started, and that's why George Lucas is back, because Dave Filoni brought him back for it. I don't know. But So we have the Clone Wars coming out. Clone Wars 7. I believe it's 7, right? Because 6 was the short one.
Yep.
7, yeah.
Yep,
This is
7.
7, the final season.
All right, hang on. Let's see if I can do this really quick. I don't know if I can.
Can you show the trailer?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Nice.
Oh man. Yeah.
But I don't know if I have. I don't know what's going to do to us on here. So
Are we doing a reaction video?
Yeah, let's all just go like this.
Oh
Whoa.
man.
Hey, there we
Hey,
go.
all right.
All right. Let's entertain.
This is such a good trailer.
It is.
God.
I'm a trailer sucker.
Yeah,
trailer.
same here, Jameson.
I got pumped up for Dark Phoenix.
I still gotta watch that movie.
I still haven't. Oh, there's.
I remember when this dropped at work. I was at work and I was like, I didn't know it dropped. It dropped like an hour after I finally saw it, and I couldn't listen to it, so I just watched it visually, and I was just like, oh my god.
this is the big thing everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Little Kanan.
Right here that we
Baby
possibly have
Kanan.
little Kanan. So that's
And
our tie-in.
what's his master's name? Ginkgo biloba?
Yes, I believe that is correct. That's why all the Jedi are skinny. Have you ever seen a fat Jedi? I mean, come on. But yeah, so that's what everybody's talking about. So yeah, I don't know. All right, let's go.
What if we see a young Callistus? That'd be wild.
I mean, I don't know what everybody else is feeling, but the clone troopers are the best troopers
Yeah.
by far.
Mm-hmm.
There they are.
Their helmets are the best, I think. I
Yeah.
love them.
Yeah.
Rex
That is my
favorite.
son's Halloween costume. He wants to be a clone trooper. So
Nice.
Trying to find a helmet on eBay that's affordable.
Yeah.
Andy, you got a mission.
Okay, accepted.
now this is the clone armor scene here. That was pretty awesome.
Oh, I love when they have Ahsoka's mark.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So that looks like the fall of Mandalore right there.
Yeah.
And I wonder how much they'll. I mean, I know it's going to be part of it, but how much of a part of it?
Yeah.
Because you only get a couple glimpses in the trailer here, but seems like it should be
Oh,
a
I
big
love
part
that
of
shot.
it.
Yeah, I think they're gonna tie up a couple things. They're gonna expand on that story. So back up to that where Ahsoka is standing. Somebody pointed out that looks like Vader's
Back up to
meditation
where?
Right at the very end.
Yeah, I think it's the next shot after that. I'll tell you. Trigger finger right
Right there,
there.
right there.
Yeah, right before. So somebody pointed out that is Vader's meditation chamber, at least the same technology from The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh.
Yep.
Right there.
Yeah.
The top.
Oh, there's a Funko Pop coming out with that.
Oh.
Oh wait,
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you gonna get
Those
that?
damn
Are you gonna
Funko
get that,
Pops.
Michael?
I mean, I don't collect Funko Pops, so I'll probably pick that up.
Grab
mean,
one
I'm
for me then.
And I'm not gonna say that's already pre-ordered at GameStop for me.
Or Entertainment Earth.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything like that. So
God, I love Ahsoka's look this year.
okay,
Oh,
so
love it.
a couple things. I didn't write any of this down or watch too much of it. But do we know who that girl is with the half-shaved head? Or
Oh, yeah. What does she have in her head? Is that like a
That's it.
Mexican pastry? Is that like a concha?
it could be.
Looks delicious.
Do we know who that is? And then this looks like they spent the most money on this animation wise.
Mhm.
Like they said that that's why George had to stop doing it because it was or that's why Lucasfilm or Disney stopped doing it because George had it so expensive to produce. But if you look at like the quality of this, I mean, it doesn't look like a movie like that good of quality, but I mean, just I think it's the best animation we've had or we've seen.
There's a lot of detail in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the first couple of seasons for Clone Wars were done in Singapore.
Oh wow!
So it wasn't as expensive as it could have been.
I remember at Celebration they were saying, to kind of talk about like what they're doing animation wise, is Ray Park did some mocap stuff for Maul.
Awesome.
So that's gonna be that's gonna be really, really cool. And I remember what they showed us at Celebration. They showed us some of Ahsoka's, that scene with her running on the wall. They showed like that kind of complete scene a little bit. So it looked great. Oh, I can't wait for this.
And that's a video gamer move too. So I really like that in the Mandalorian, and then even just with that scene right there, they're bringing in some of the gamer aspects of the Star Wars things, like how they level up and new armor and different weapons, and he gets like in Mandalorian where he gets the jetpack at the end. It kind of levels up along the way. I kind of like how they're bringing in some of the gamer aspects of this into the shows.
Andy, didn't you? We were told that you're not supposed to level up in Star Wars.
Well, I mean, yes, I know, but
that's another conversation that is great because I think that whole rant. The words that were said were probably not exactly what was meant 100%. But that's all our story itself. We can do a podcast of that where we just dissect it word for word. Because I think what was meant by that was, you don't level up, like you don't just practice or you don't just do it and automatically get the points and get better. Sometimes you can do things, sometimes you can't. I think it was more along those lines, not it's kind of like when Kathleen Kennedy said that there's nothing to go from for Star Wars, that they have to do everything from scratch. She didn't mean there's no Star Wars, that she doesn't know if there's books and whatever, but they're not making Legends canon. They don't want to even make it seem like that. So they don't have everything they're doing is from scratch. They might have some stuff they can use for ideas, but it's not like when Marvel makes movies and they take it right from comic books.
Yeah.
But that's those are for other days, or later on times.
I'd still like to see a show, whether it's cartoon or not, about a X-wing squadron. I know that's Legends now, but I'd still like to see that.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
And then the other big thing we have here is, I think we're going to see a little bit of Anakin's downfall because we're going into, the Sith. Oh, there's two things. One, Padme's pregnancy, which is up to debate. Well, not her being pregnant, but that. And
it happened.
Well, I wasn't there, so I'm not sure.
That's definitely canon.
I was going to say a bad joke, but I won't do that because that's I offend enough people as it is, not even trying to. So, maybe I'll do it off the air for you people.
Plus, there's a lady present.
Thank you.
What do you mean?
It wasn't bad like that. It was just off color another way. But so we have the fight with Anakin with Ahsoka and Maul, which we know no one wins because in Rebels, which we're going to talk about Rebels in a second too, or next we're going to talk about Rebels or sometime today. They fight in Rebels. Everyone thinks, well, I shouldn't say everyone, but I've heard a lot of people talking. I know on Blue Harvest, they were saying that they thought that Ahsoka won that fight because of what it says in the Ahsoka novelization. But she spared Maul because it's the Jedi way, if she would have killed him during battle, that's one thing. But if she defeats them and then kills them, then it's murder or whatever. So but if you watch Rebels, because I did my Rebels rewatch, it's when Vader's there, and I think it's when Kanan gets blinded. He's calling Ahsoka Tano Lady Tano. So he's got a respect for her in that way. Whether it's whether it's respect or he's belittling her, we're not really sure. but she goes up the stairs and he says, "You're running away like always, or you're running away like last time."
Mhm.
So I don't know if that means that she ran away from the fight to survive, or she had him defeated and didn't kill him because
Ran away.
and just walked away because it's like, now you live to fight another day because I can't capture you and it's wrong for me to kill you. So I was just wondering if anybody had a viewpoint on that.
I thought in the Soka novel that's touched on, like they talk about that book about their confrontation, and I thought it was more someone remind me or correct me, but I thought she set more of a trap for Maul when they were fighting. So it like obviously she was trying to win, but I thought she had a whole kind of more bigger idea, and she tracked him, and that's how they got him. And then obviously when Order 66 happens, that's how he gets out. I thought that's what that book kind of explained or hinted at for sure. Possibly. I don't know.
I think I think
real
Ahsoka.
fast, Andy. I'm sorry. Before you start, I'm gonna take a hike. I'll let you guys finish up this episode. Thank you, Michael, for including me. May the force be with you, and remember, #Road to 1500.
Road to
Get your votes in.
1500, everyone. If you don't follow Scarif podcast, then I don't know what, but just go follow him.
All right, guys. Lauren, Jameson, nice to meet you. Andy, good to see you as well. Michael, thank you very much.
See
Bro,
ya.
thank you. And anytime you want to come on, you know where to find us.
We're doing one of these on Wednesday with special guests, so hopefully everybody in the chat will join us as well. But that's the scuttlebutt, and that's what I'm sticking to. All right, see you guys.
Thanks, Ro.
Bye, Ro.
Maybe this is a situation where Ahsoka cuts him in half and he pulls a psych on her. Already done it. Fakes he's like he's dead or something.
But yeah, I thought it was talked about in the novel, and I can't remember. I'll have to reread it. But they talk about, or the book hints at how that confrontation kind of went down a little bit. So, but yeah, maybe, and that's just from obviously Ahsoka's perspective too. So, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
All right. Well, we have Rural Farm Boy leaving, so good night, Rural Farm Boy.
Good night.
Bye, Anthony.
I'm surprised you didn't even hop on here. Here. I think this is only the second or third time that I've been on that you haven't hopped on. Sometimes he has computer issues, or sometimes he doesn't like me. I don't know, whatever it is.
Well, Wi-Fi's tough back in the 1930s.
It is. What, did he move? He went into the future?
Oh, is that too far? I
don't.
In the 19-teens.
Yeah.
1890s. I don't know.
Yeah, so that was I really like it. I figured out how to do that with StreamYard, where I can split it and do it, because then I'm going to I was this is kind of on the side, but I was talking to my girlfriend yesterday. Well, this is a great time for me to say, in case you guys missed it, this episode of TooMedToo's that's what I used to know. Somebody that used to always call me TooMedToo, and he could never pronounce TooMedToo. But TooMedToo's Bacta tank is brought to you by Rural Farm Boy, who just left, and Mr. Rez, Kylo from Kylo Customs, and Chris from Kentucky. They are my Patreons that are gracious enough to give me, some money every month to help out. To once again, not for my toys and
never.
Like I was talking to my girlfriend, for me to go and get the upgrade on the StreamYard, it's $25 a month, just to be able to talk to you guys, so I can make it look pretty, and I don't have the StreamYard thing in the corner doesn't really bother me. But being able to do more things with it, and stream to Facebook at the same time or whatever, that's $20 a month. My website, which I've had a website for 2 years, I have the domain name. It's been down for a year and a half because I wasn't doing anything with it, and that costs money every month. So it's like, that's all stuff that's going for upkeep to so I can give you a better
Hey, Michael, did you can change that StreamYard logo? You can put your own logo up there.
Not for the free version.
Oh, okay.
That's fair.
That's what I have, the free version now. So like,
Oh, I got you.
that's the other thing. Like, it doesn't sound like much, or it sounds like a lot, but you're allowed 20 hours of stream time. Which when I first started off, I never got anywhere near close to that. But 2 hours, or 2.5, 3 hours, which is usually what it is. What the streams end up being, because people just can't shut up like me. Or anybody else, especially when me and Anthony get on. Me and Anthony just start arguing over nothing, about whether or not there's going to be. Me and Anthony will argue for a half hour whether or not the saga's over. Every week it's the same thing. But that adds up. But so it's like, if I want to do another stream where I'm going through books and things like that, or whatever it is. Like I was at 19 hours from this month when I started today. So it won't cut me off. But if I was to stop, I couldn't do a stream tomorrow until the end of the month, or whatever it is. It's just little things like that, and getting rid of the logo, and you can put different banners on. And when I go like this, there's another thing. For those of you that listen to the first podcast, I know this is amazing to listen to. So there's the lines. Yeah, there's the lines in between. If I was to go to, if I was paying for this, there would be, I could put a screen behind there. So when it's down to 2 people or 3 people, where there's less, or there's more blank screen, that there's something behind there. Where with this I can't do. But right now it's just, I love you guys, but I don't have $50 a month to pay for my website and to do this. So everybody gives, and then my camera I want to buy for streaming is $600 when I get to Celebration,
wow.
So that I can actually stream. So it has the Wi-Fi connected to it. So like I could take it to my computer and do it, so I don't have to plug it in. But to actually sit there and stream while I'm doing it is a different camera than just. But yeah, so it's just every penny helps.
Charles in the mention says, let's just keep streaming straight through the 31st.
I can do that.
Just leave it on.
It's the date's actually not the 31st. I don't know what day it is. I think it's either the 28th or 29th. So we'd be good for it today. But yeah, it starts back up. But it's like, so I did the Funko Pop one that was 2.5 hours or whatever. But just things like that. But
hey, Michael, I don't mean to cut you off, but I gotta get going. But
okay.
Thanks for having me on, Andy, Jameson. Nice to meet you guys.
Yep. Hey, Lauren.
Keep having fun, and I'll see you guys online.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bye.
And, that's what this whole thing's all about. Like, see how there's a screen back there? I could have some design or Star Wars stuff back there. But so we got some more room. If anybody wants to come in, just let me know. I think everybody in here has the link to get on if they want to. But that's what that's kind of what the whole thing is. They came on for an hour. They're still here. Somebody wants to come on for 5 minutes, ask a question. Somebody wants to stay on the whole time. Everything's all good.
Michael, I've got it's, I don't know, West Coast time. It's getting close to 7 o'clock here, and I know that I'm going to need to put my daughter to bed here pretty soon. But I was wondering if there was a package that you've been hanging on to that you might just want to open real quick for
As a matter of fact, there is. If you remember last week, I left the stream to go check my mail to see what was going on, and the package I was looking for wasn't here. So it came Tuesday, or no, it came Monday after. I don't remember. But I've been sitting on
Tuesday.
TooMedToo's. There you go. I've been sitting on this for a week.
Don't lie. Did you crack the tape and take a peek?
Nope. Nothing. I haven't done a thing to it. So give me 1 second here, because.
Well, I know you don't collect pops, so.
or popcorn buckets.
Or popcorn
buckets.
I've got 3 popcorn buckets. I'm not sure how that happened.
Well, I have one. Actually, I brought it. Star Wars, The Force Awakens. That's the only one I have.
Atta baby.
Right there.
I've got a Solo Rise of Skywalker, and then for Christmas, my wife got me it's kind of a bigger one, but it's got the 3 different kinds of popcorn in it.
Yeah.
The caramel, the cheese, and the butter,
Mhm.
and it's got all of the original trilogy like posters are wrapped around it. But hey, it's cool. But I don't know what to do with it.
So, all right, here we go. I have this lovely box.
Woo.
Let's do it.
Prime.
It came all the way from across the country in
Washington.
And
Michael, you ever been to Washington?
no.
Jameson, you ever been to Washington?
The state? No, I've not.
All right, well, come on out.
Not.
Come on
I
out.
got a place to stay. All right.
Hey, the Funko headquarters is a couple hours just north of me here, so we can make a road trip out of it.
Okay, and the same thing that I told the guy that was working at GameStop today when I went to go pick up my Funkos that came in, to prove I do not collect Funko Pops. I had 2 that were pre-ordered, and I picked those up. If I would have bought a 3rd Funko Pop, I would have got a 4th one for free.
Oh.
So if I would have spent $12 to buy a Funko Pop, I would have got 2 for $12. And I just got left with the 2 that I bought. I had already paid for it.
That's
Which
just foolish.
proves to you I do not collect Funko Pops.
Yeah.
And also I looked for about 15 minutes. I couldn't find anything that I really wanted. So, usually if there was anything Star Wars, I would have just gotten whatever Star Wars, because that way if somebody wants something, I can trade with them or look or, give them away or whatever it is. Ooh, hang on. I'm going to move to this one. Where is this guy here? Hang on. We got Charlie Skywalker coming in. Right as Charlie Skywalker comes in, I got rid of everybody. So, all right. So here we go. I open up the box, and this thing's in there.
Ooh. Take it out of the bubble wrap.
Oh, there's something inside the bubble wrap I didn't know. And we have this.
Lovely.
Nice.
And it's more than just a box.
Open it.
This is a pretty box.
Gorgeous box.
All right, I'll let you know. It says, and for those of you that are listening now, watching for this first episode number 1 of TooMedToo's Bacta Tank, it is Luke Skywalker. Skywalker Strikes Back. And it is a Hasbro 6-inch Black Series. Luke Skywalker and the Ragtag Rebels opposing the Galactic Empire are fresh off their biggest victory so far, the destruction of the massive Death Star, but the Empire is not toppled yet. When a young rebel assault goes wrong, Han and Leia must think fast to make their escape, while Luke comes face to face with Darth Vader in the explosive aftermath. A humbled Luke returns to Tatooine to learn more about his mentor, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
And then we open this bad boy up, and we have Luke Skywalker.
Ooh.
I believe that's his Yavin coat, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then we have his. I'm trying to show you guys on here, and so we have. Where are we? We have his lightsaber, the blue one. We have his training helmet with the blast shield on there. We have the little ball for training that would zap him in the ass when he wasn't paying attention. What else do we got on there? Oh, we got the little zap thing coming off the ball. He's got a blaster, and I haven't been able. I just opened it up. I'm not sure what those 2 things down there in the bottom are.
There's one metal. There's metal there.
No, there's no metal. That's, I think, in a different one. That's in the one where he looks like he's all coked out, I think. Yeah. I think the guys from Bad Motivators call it the coked out
Coked out Luke.
Coked out Luke, yeah, that's what they call him over there. So yeah, this is from my buddy Andy. Thank you very much.
That's me.
He's pointing to himself. And
Yeah.
for those of you that are listening, he can be found
Michael,
on the Hall Chronicles. Yes.
No, plug me. Go ahead.
He can be found on the Hall Chronicles that he does with his buddy Josh. And they have a weekly podcast, and they sometimes stream onto weekly-ish, and they sometimes stream. Yeah.
What I liked about that figure that I sent you there, Mike, was that it all the cool accessories in it. And I wanted to ask you a question. Since I see you got some Black Series behind you there, are you going to take it out, or are you going to leave it in the box? There is no wrong answer. Just what are you going to do?
It will eventually come out of the box, but right now I am not in the position to put displays out to display things properly, so they stay in the boxes till the time is right for me to display them. Yeah, so it'll go on a shelf with other Black Series, which I do collect Black Series. I tell people that, so it's not a thing that I'm afraid to tell you that I collect things. But yeah, it's just not the Funkos. So yeah, how is that for an answer? At the moment, they are not coming out of the box, but they will.
Okay.
Someday when I'm not living in a New York
You need
City
another
apartment.
shelf.
My bookcase is only half done, and once everything's transferred fully to the other bookcase, the Funko Pops I'm sitting on right now will go onto the other bookcase, and it will look a little bit more complete and be a little bit better. But yeah. So,
Jameson, do you have a collection?
No, that's one thing I do not have much of a collection. If anything, Legos. I collect a lot of Lego. Or I don't necessarily collect them, but I just have a lot of Legos. I started buying the Star Wars ones back in 2001 to 98 when they first started the clone or the prequels started coming out. I got a lot then, and now of course my he loves Lego. So and when I say I have the ones back then, my mom just kept them all, and now I've been able to start putting them back together. So it's been
Thank God for moms.
I know she kept all my old Star Wars toys. So good, so cool.
Cool.
Yeah, my 3 3/4 from when they first came out.
Charlie, you got a collection? You got a collection to speak of?
Charlie's gone for the moment, but yeah, my toys that I had from when I was growing up.
I think I'm cutting.
Your picture's a little fuzzy, but your sound is fine, Andy. But yeah,
Okay.
my collection. They're all beaten up and thrown at, and have rocks stuck in them and things, hands chewed off or whatever, or firecrackers were put in them, whatever. So none of them are in good shape. None of them are worth
They're
saving,
loved.
except
They've been loved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did see somebody on. I put it on Facebook and on Twitter a couple times. I didn't tag you, Andy. Somebody had a collection of 84 figures, from 84 figures that they were selling on eBay, and it was an auction, and it was $500. The auction was up to. And it got up to, they sold for 900 or 950 or whatever. It was under 1,000. But I was thinking, if I sell my other shit and start going for vintage series, I was like, that would be okay. I could do something like that, and that takes up a lot less room. It's a lot more expensive, but I think the person that wanted them, because then if you look at the bidding history, someone just put in a bid for whatever. Because every time there was a bid made, they beat it, and it said private collector or private name. So it was one of those that somebody put in, whatever they were. Somebody probably looked at it, pieced it out piece by piece, and said, okay, that's worth this. It's worth this much and X condition. I'm going to bid $1,400 on it, and then just as long as nobody beats that, I get it. Because every time there was a bid, the next second there was a bid, and it was the same person. So that it had to be. So yeah. So I wouldn't have got it anyways. Because when it was $500, I was thinking about. When I got to $1,000, I was like, it'd be a nice step for the collection. I just don't have that $1,000 to, that would really cut into the celebration fund. If I was spending that extra.
Got to prioritize.
Extra money.
There's a big picture. Stay big
got to prioritize.
picture.
Yep.
I gotta make sure I have enough money for celebration, because we got it reviewed that we have
Josh and I
Star Wars night.
Josh and I got to the point where we both got to the point where we had collections of different things. We just nothing specific. We just kind of a lot of things. And I got to the point where it's like, all right, I'm selling off all the other stuff and I'm just going Star Wars. And to focus that, it wasn't easy, because I got rid of like some old Transformers of mine, and I was sentimental towards them, and sold off a bunch of GI Joe stuff, even though I still have one display case, but that's like mine and both of my brothers too, so I'm not allowed to get rid of that. But yeah, you do have to prioritize what you want to do. If you want to go all in on Funko or go all in on Black Series, it's nice if you can do it all, but there's just so much, and there's so many cool things, especially going back 42 years now, and you really got to get a little specific. So yeah, you do prioritize, and everybody prioritizes differently. So
like when I was
that's what
looking
makes
through
the collections cool.
When I was looking through the book at GameStop, and I was like, oh, those Master of the Universe pops look really cool, and I was like, well, I don't collect Funko Pops, so I can't get them. Although I did pick up.
You could have got two of them for $12, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. But no, the deposit doesn't work on that. Those are pre-orders, so it doesn't work. I wouldn't have been able to. But no, actually, I did. I did buy. I've gotten a few things that aren't Star Wars. Like I got that I showed last week, the Elliot from Pete's Dragon. I got that. That was cool. I got that it was free. Because I asked the guy how much I was saying that GameStop, they call them penny pops. After they've been on the shelf for so long, they pull them off the shelf because they don't want to sell them anymore. They want the new ones on there because they're just taking up space. They're not making any revenue. So if someone finds them, they are supposed to sell them for a penny. They're in the computer. They can't go on the computer and see what the penny pops are. What they have, it's when you go there. So I told the guy, I said, I'll sit here all day long on one of your slow days and buy you lunch. I'm just going to come back with every pop and see if you got any penny ones. He's like, people do that all the time. And he's like, they don't, you don't have to buy your lunch. That's part of my job. And I was like, oh, all right. Oh, Charles is leaving. Charles,
it's kind of funny.
Hey, Charles.
GameStop is not allowed to sell any penny merchandise. If they sell something that's a penny, they can get terminated for it.
Well,
living on the edge.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I used to be a GameStop manager, so I used to have collectors come in all the time and try to find all the penny stuff. And I got written up for selling the penny. Anything that's a penny is supposed to get discarded, trashed, thrown in the dumpster, whatever. So it's pretty interesting.
Well, then maybe that's why I didn't get it. They threw it out. Yeah, that's right.
See
Solo.
that?
They didn't.
See that big ass Solo banner right there?
Yeah, man.
It's
Nice.
8 feet tall. That was supposed to get thrown out too, but guess what? Guess what, Disney? I rescued it from a dumpster.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I had a plan. There's a movie theater by me that's really cheap. It's $10 like for a 3D movie or whatever. Which it's New York City, so that's like dirt cheap because it's $20 or whatever normally. Other movies are $10, no matter if they're 3D or regular. And I went there for around Solo time, and they had a bunch of stuff from The Last Jedi, and I couldn't believe like all the stuff they had. And the owner is a big Star Wars fan, so whenever Star Wars merchandise comes up, he gets a ton of it, and then they just sell it for the next year, and he doesn't discount it; he just sells it. That's what instead of getting in Venom cups, he gets, he just uses the Star Wars stuff that he still has. People still buy them because for whatever reason. So my plan was to start going to that movie theater and become friends with the owner. That way I could get a bunch of like the Star Wars stuff for free and for cheap or whatever. I'd be on the list when he's giving away, because it only has probably like four theater or four screens in it. So it's really small for today's theaters. And I was like, oh yeah, that way I'll be able to get all the stuff and posters or get on the list for the waiting list. And yeah, it never happened. I kind of just that went to the wayside. But that would have been a nice story if I had something good to say about it.
Hey, Mike, it's time for me to go. So I want to say
all right,
thanks for having me on. Jameson, nice to see your face.
You too.
And Charlie, good talk.
We'll see you later, Andy.
All right, see you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So, Andy's out of here. Okay, let's see. What else do we have on the list for today? I actually made a list. So, and we're kind of sticking to it. Oh, that's, yeah, we're kind of sticking to it. So, that's not it. Oh, Rebels. Since this is the cartoon, we're talking about Toons today. Rebels 2, I've been calling it. So it's like the Rebels 5th season that got announced. The story was pretty much first leaked or gotten out by Noah from Kessel Run Transmission. And Corey's in there too. They used to be separate and now they're together. Not like that, however you want to take it, but
yeah.
Working together. And they kind of broke the story, and a little bit later it came out that it was coming out, and now they came out and said that it is going to be the winter of 2020. Which caused debate over right now. It's winter 2020, but after the fall, and 8 months from now or 9 months from now or whatever, that's when it's going to be released. That's what they're hearing. And there's a little blow up on Twitter about it as, who's your sources? Tell me your sources. And it's like that you can't. I got in an argument with someone. They're like, you're a troll. And I was like, dude, why are you saying the guys had they came out with Rebels coming out before anybody else. They came out with the new Clone Wars and Rebels or whatever it was, the Black Series and collectibles or toys or whatever that were coming out. They came out with that story before it was officially announced a couple of days or a week or two beforehand. It's like, so, for when it comes to the animation stuff, they have somebody that they're talking to or someone's talking to them.
Yeah.
And, I kind of believe them. Like, I don't understand why you're calling them a troll. And then it was just kind of this argument of, if you can't, it's like, if you reveal your sources, you don't have sources anymore.
Well,
so,
yeah, true.
So it got it, and just, nothing crazy. And it, then of course he was like, if this was real, publications would be quoting him. And I was like, dude, real publications quote Mike Zero. So what the fuck does that tell you? Like, that means nothing that someone else is quoting you or whatever. And then I got an argument. He's like, oh yeah, prove to me that Mike Zero, people use Mike Zero stories and articles. I was like, dude, they're all over, everything. But so that was, anyways. So that's my rant about that and that idiot that I was talking to. Whoever you are, you're really stupid and should never be allowed on Twitter again. But yeah. So what do you guys think? 2020 Rebels coming out. So we have, we know we have Clone Wars starting in February, February 27th. I think it is.
No, February 21st.
21st. Okay, yeah. Because it was the 17th. we thought it was the 17th, and then someone in a typo wrote it was the 7th, which changed everything.
Yeah.
Then it got officially released to the 21st. So we have the 20. So we have February, March, April, May. So we have Clone Wars till May, June, however it works out week wise. So then Mando starts up in the fall. I'm not sure when. So we need something for.
I think it's supposed to be first
June, July, August. We need something for the summer, which maybe there is no new content coming out for the summer to watch. And then we have the Mando going on, and right after the Mando, we have
Rebels,
and Rebels is going to be, right bookended to Mando or at the same time as Mando, which I don't think there's any reason to do at the same time.
Yeah, I hope they
be foolish to do it like that. They'd be better off to put Mando a little bit earlier and get it in, September, October, and then do Rebels November, December. That way you get it in for Christmas again, or whatever. Obviously they did a good job with Baby Yoda, so I'm not going to really call them out on what I think they should do too much. I'm sure they can. But yeah, so that's kind of like what we got looking for. Our Disney Plus going on. What do you guys think about the Rebels 2 season? What's that gonna? Are you excited about it? And what do you think it's gonna entail?
Well, I thought they ended the 4th season pretty good at a pretty good spot. So I was pretty surprised that they came out and said that there was going to be another season, or that they came out and said there was going to be a season 5. I kind of don't. I assume Ahsoka, and we're going to follow her around at some point. I don't know where they're going to go. I don't have much to. I just don't know. I don't know where they could go.
I'm the
Charlie?
same way. I don't know where they're going to go with it. I'm excited for it. I binged watched because I was late to the game. I binged watched the first 4, fairly quickly, and just absolutely fell in love with the characters and the stories that they were telling. I'm excited for it. Don't have a clue where they're going to go with it. Yeah, it's and I also read earlier this morning that they're going to shoot for Mando in October to give a little more breathing room for Rebels.
Yeah, that's what they need to do.
That they should have. Yeah, they should have plenty of time because they're already doing the production stuff for it, and they should start filming relatively soon for that, and that way they get it into the VFX artists to finish up for an October release rather than a late November, December release like they did for the season 1. So I think they'll layer it well. I think over the summer we'll probably get a novel or 2 to tide us over. Yeah, and then bring on 2021.
I think there's 4 novels that are supposed to come out this summer or this year, I should say, because I think the novelization comes out in May or something. They pushed it back, or March or
May.
March.
Well, that was novelization, I believe.
Yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to talk about too. Somebody asked me about it. Oh, Charles asked about it, but he's already gone, I think. But yeah, so we'll get to that in a second, because I have my list now, so I can say that and actually know that we're going to come back to things. We have, so I think with Rebels, there's, are we going to get what happened with Hera afterwards? Is it going to be like the Hera show? Or are they going to go with Dean and Ahsoka? Or are they going to do a little bit of both? Because, we don't know if Hera is still around, but the Ghost was around in
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, they showed the ship there.
Yeah, I would say.
Are they gonna go deeper into what's going on with Ezra and Thrawn? I mean,
Mhm.
how far are they going to go with that?
That was where I was kind of going with the Ahsoka and
Sabine.
yeah, I'm trying to find something right now. That's why I'm the Ahsoka and Sabine going to find Ezra, like because that's where it's left off. That Ahsoka and Sabine go to find Ezra, who's with Thrawn. What's going on with that?
Hmm.
Is that going to be in, or is that going to have the Thrawn novelizations coming out? Or is it? Oh no, that's
prequel.
that's
It's supposed to
before.
be before.
That's
Yeah.
prequel. Okay, so it won't be anything. Well, who knows? Maybe they throw something in there. I mean, they
Yeah.
do whatever the hell
Well,
they want half the time. So they could have a flash forward letting us know because this isn't actually a prequel. This is a
Mhm.
future book where he's remembering
Remembering, yeah,
or telling the story. I mean, I'm honestly I'm pulling it out of my ass. I have no idea. I'm just saying, I don't really have any clue what it's going to be or what they're going to do.
yeah.
But
well, in
no,
Rise
I
of
had an article
Skywalker,
here.
they had the Ahsoka's voice.
Oh no, go ahead. I'm talking about.
All right, so yeah, in Rise of Skywalker, one of the Jedi that spoke to Rey was Ahsoka. So
Hmm.
you got to find out what happened to her.
Hmm. I
So
kind of
they haven't
Okay,
shown it
but
yet.
you also have Ahsoka's not a Jedi.
hmm
She
Well,
left the Jedi Order, so she's not a Jedi. She's just a Force user. Unless she went back to it after we don't know. But then who was training her? That's a whole nother subject in itself. Who was training her because there's nobody left to train her.
yeah.
Unless she found somebody or she has Force Ghost training her. She was in World Between Worlds, so she might know how to contact being alive. She might know how to contact, or Luke was able to talk to Leia.
hmm Well,
They were both Force users. They weren't dyads. It doesn't really matter if they were
yeah.
related. That as we found out, they weren't dyads. It has nothing to do with the fact they were related. They were able to, communicate with each other through the Force. So, was Ahsoka doing that because she was still, alive? And then you have Filoni came out with the day after, or on Christmas, whatever it was, with the picture of Ahsoka the White and
hmm
Dumbledore, whatever his name is. I
Gandalf.
and he's Gandalf. And I was way off, wasn't I? I wasn't anywhere near close. Dumbledore's a fucking school. But with Gandalf saying, they thought I was dead, and look at how it turned out, or something like that. So, where do we go from there? That those are all aspects that we could delve on and talk about why we're trying to figure out that on just on the voice part.
Could Ahsoka go to Obi-Wan more? And that's the only person I could think of she could go to it in the Rebel series, at least, to be trained more. Maybe they communicate a little. That's a possibility, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know where they go exactly. I kind of think they might build the Rebels the way they've built the Clone Wars and try to connect Revenge of the Sith all the way to A New Hope. I mean, they might introduce a whole load of new characters for Rebels if that's the plan. I mean, they could. I mean, of course, it's hard to connect Jedi's though, and that's kind of the Star Wars seller. I don't know how they're gonna do it all that. So.
However they do
All
it, it's
right.
a great time to be alive for a Star Wars fan.
Definitely.
I just want to go back here really quick. Since I brought up the ghost, which was kind of not where I was going. It was what I was going to talk about earlier, but let's see if this is right. If I found it, okay. Make sure that's big right there so you guys can see it. For those of you that are listening, not watching, this is the article that came out about the Resistance. I was going to talk about it a little bit more in depth, but the only thing I'm going to talk about right now, really quick, is where is it? Okay. This isn't what I wanted, but it's been confirmed that on there was 14,000 ships that showed up to fight the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the right article, I don't think. But Bucket was flying one of Bucket was flying the Fireball, and then we also had here it is. Okay. So what happens next? Well, one of the things we do know is that among the 14,000 ships that arrive with Lando Calrissian over Exegol in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker are the Fireball, Jarek Yeater's Racer, and Torredoza's ship, says Pablo Hidalgo of the Lucasfilm Story Group. The ILM team creative photo real versions of the vessels to populate the movie's space battle, which we're excited to reveal here. And there's going to be, keep your eyes peeled for a number of Mining Guild freighters and the Epic Clash. And yeah, so there you can see, if you're looking, we have the 3 racers from there. But there was another one that I read too, another article. This one's from StarWars.com. But this isn't the actual article. This is just part of it. We have that the Ghost was definitely there. It doesn't say who was flying it, though.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just really quick. That I'm kind of mad that I don't know what I did with that article.
Yeah, I read that.
It was a little bit better.
Too.
So that was what I was going to talk about when we were talking about our Resistance, that I'm the only one that fucking watches it, so it was kind of boring.
I'll catch up eventually.
I want to say, Benzo H is here. Thank you for stopping by and joining us. I met him in another live chat, and him and I started talking because he identifies with a group of the Star Wars community that most people in this live chat or the community that we're in don't normally get along with. And that's why him and I started, because we were having a normal conversation, which most people in that group that he associates with can't do. So we kind of, I told him, I said, hey, well, that's the whole thing. They're so dramatic or so gun ho that it's, I hate Disney, Disney's horrible, whatever it is. And then nothing good's come out of Star Wars, whatever it is. But he's got Make Solo 2 happen. So he identifies with that group, but Make Solo 2 happen. So it's like, that's how I started talking to him. And so it's kind of one of those things, one person at a time. We'll but yeah, so that's kind of where that is. So let's see. I don't know. This might be a short one. When Royal Farm Boy's not here, it's a lot shorter. There's nobody to argue with.
Well, here's a question. Here's a question I got. I know the Rebel. I've heard that there's 2 animated series is in development, and I know Rebels is supposed to be the one that comes out in winter. Has anybody heard anything different as far as another series, what it could be? Or
was Clone Wars one of them?
No, I'm pretty sure it was. I can't remember where I saw it at, but they said there's 2 animated series is in development: the new Rebels, or the Rebels Part 2, whatever you want to call it, and another one, an unnamed one. So I don't know. I kind of think maybe after Return of the Jedi. They're supposed to be doing
one for High Republic.
That's probably it. That would probably be it.
Well, that's as it comes out more, we're learning. Well, we're not learning more about Project Luminous.
Yeah.
But our theories are getting disproven a little bit easier, I guess. Mm-hmm. So we still don't know. We don't even know if Project Luminous is the
High Republic. Really? Yeah.
It could be 2 completely different things.
Yeah.
We're just assuming that they're together. No one's come out and said they're the same, or no one's put anything together that is like feasible that it really makes it that way. It's just we're assuming that Project Luminous is the High Republic, but yeah, I mean, at Celebration, most of the people thought that Project Luminous was going to be something to do with the 40th anniversary of Empire, because that's what we have coming up. Which the hashtag for that is ESB40. That was confirmed by the. I broke that story. I didn't really break that story. I asked Matt Martin what it was, because I was trying to hashtag the Funko Pop that I don't collect, because I got that first one. I was the first one to get it. Yay! Well, I wasn't really the first one to get it, but I got it before it was supposed to be sold, and made the video for it. So I was like, "What is it supposed to be?" And I went back and forth with them a couple of times, and it was like, "No, it's going to be ESB40." So I was like, "I'm the first one to officially use it. Thanks, guys." Not that it means anything, because in the grand scheme of things, I'm a nobody when it comes to the Star Wars Twitter world and everything else. So no one's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that guy had it first. He made some stupid video about a Funko Pop."
Tomato.
Yeah.
Tomato.
Yeah, it was me and Kylo from Kylo Customs. We broke the internet. We made that video, and it's got about 80 views on it. So, but yeah. Anyways, I don't even know what the hell I was saying. Fuck. I just got a text message, and I wasn't expecting it. So, I'm
trying to remember what the author's name was. Kevin Scott said a few weeks ago that he was kind of detailing who was talking and what they were doing as far as being all together. And I'm pretty sure I read that he said it's going to be part of Star Wars that hasn't been explored yet. It's something completely new, something completely different. Which to me would be, and that's when they started, the whole High Republic thing. So that's the only thing I could think of that, because if it was going to be centered around the 40th anniversary, that's something that's already happened and people know about. So this has to be it's something new, something different, set in a time that nobody knows anything about.
Yeah.
Now, is that for Luminous, or all the people that are named, are they for Luminous? And there was somebody else, I forget who it was. No, because something else. Oh shit, I forget who it was. Somebody's writing about Maul. Somebody that was in that list of people. I don't know if it was for Luminous, but there was a list of things that are in the works or authors that are working right now with Lucasfilm, and I don't know if I have it saved or where it was. I think I was going to talk about that last stream, so it would have been about a week ago, or and she said she was so excited because she's writing about Maul, but she was supposed to be someone in Project Luminous. So could Project Luminous span an entire time, and it's all just about Force users? That's the other question that I had. It doesn't have to be one time. So Project Luminous, we might have been wrong, or the people that thought it was going to be the 40th anniversary, like it was going to be the from a certain point of view, but a certain point of view is Star Wars, that Project Luminous was going to be the certain point of view of Empire Strikes Back. But maybe Project Luminous is just all about the Force and Force users. Because they had, I think, like 8 authors listed. And that's a lot of authors to be writing, unless you're going to get 2 novels and 3 or 4 young adult books or young reader books and 3 or 4 kid books. I mean, that's 8's enough.
Yeah.
8 is enough.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Any ideas on that, Charlie? I don't know if you're having some difficulties right now, Charlie.
Yeah, I think they may be, because I think whenever what they say, let me see if I can read this. The Force is what gives a Jedi his power. It's an energy told or created by all things. Are they supposed to? Isn't that wasn't that one of the sales? They said the way we thought about the Force would change after Project Luminous or something like that. So that could definitely be where they're headed, just having a bunch of different books focused on Force users and this and that. And I think, didn't they say the 29th? Did I hear that it was going to be the 29th? We were going to get some actual information. I think maybe, I don't know. That might have just been a random tweet.
I don't know. Okay, 5 according to I don't know who this article is. Dorkside, Fanside. What is Project Luminous by Susan Lurgraj? Lurgraj. Lurgraj. I don't know.
You got it right.
Completely off on that name. But it says that we were given the names of Claudia Gray, Justina Ireland, Daniel Jose Alder, Kevin Scott, and Charles Soule. Charles Soule, I'm assuming, is going to be comic book.
I think he's supposed to actually have a novel too. I think okay. I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be comic books and a novel.
But this is on Project Luminous. It'll span across Disney Press, Del Rey, IDW Publishing, and Marvel Comics. I think this is an old article. This isn't something new. Yeah, it's from 4 months ago.
Yeah.
I was looking for something newer, but there really isn't. There's stuff in there from Screen Rant and Reddit, but it's all crap. So, they haven't really announced anything. We don't know.
We're in the dark.
We are. And so are the people listening, because we don't even know what we're talking about. We're just talking about it. So,
what do you guys know? Nothing, because we actually.
And my phone just fucking died. Wikipedia just said Project Luminous coming in 2020.
Yeah.
And then listed those 5 authors. So.
Yeah, I think the 29th. I think I read the 29th is when we're supposed to find information out, actual information. But I think I saw that on a tweet, so that's not necessarily accurate. So,
yeah. Kylo, come chat with us, because we're running to the end here. So I got something to open up. So we need you here.
Clone
the other thing, Kenobi, the Kenobi story.
I know. What was it they said? They're rewriting scripts. I think.
I mean, that's the thing. It's everything that's happening is normal.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that Kathleen Kennedy came out and said the scripts are done. We're ready to go. Well, does she mean the actual script's ready to go, or does she mean the treatments, or does she mean the first script is ready to go? And it's all.
We still got
like I was saying before, it's the words you use, but because we're crazy Star Wars fucking fanatics, we're dissecting everything word for word, one by one. Use this word, which technically means this if you look up in the dictionary. But if you put together with these 3 words, we know what you meant, but that's not what you said because blah blah blah. So, going back to the Freddie Prinze Jr. rant, just kind of like when I go on my little rants and I talk for a minute or two, half the time I don't even know when I get done what I said and whether or not it made sense. And everybody else is like, yeah, okay. But if you actually took word for word what I said, it probably doesn't really go together. But if they flow together with what I'm saying,
makes sense. Context. You gotta have context.
Yeah. And common sense too. So, that's what people were like. Oh, cancel. Disney's done. Disney's over. And what are we going to do? And Disney ruined another thing. And it's like, Kenobi's been ruined for the last 8 years. It's always supposed to be starting. This is the closest they've come. They've known for a couple of years it was coming, but they've been working on it. So
it'll happen. They're going to get it done.
And I'd rather have them. It's still on schedule, no one was there working yet.
Yeah.
So how are you gonna send people home?
Yeah.
You have people that aren't there working because you haven't started doing anything yet.
Yeah.
It hasn't started filming. It hasn't started doing anything. How did you send people home that aren't there?
Yeah.
As the story says. So I mean, it just doesn't add up. Did it happen? I don't know, but it doesn't make sense for the way that it goes.
Everybody to freak out.
Why is everybody freaking out? And like there's nothing happened. Like my birthday's coming up. My birthday's coming up in a couple weeks, so I don't know yet if I'm going to be home or not. I got some time off of work. I got 3 or 4 days off of work. I might take. Hey, Kylo from Kylo Customs is here.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey.
So it's like I got a couple of days off from work. I might try and switch something around, and I might try and go away for a couple of days and not going anywhere fun. I'm going to go visit friends and family, and leave my girlfriend here working because she can't get the time off of work right now because she's got to save her time to get off at other times where I have a little bit more flexibility. Where I can work 4 days at the beginning of a week and 4 days at the end of another week, and I got 5 days off together. Whatever it happens to be. Where she can't really do that in the restaurant business and running a restaurant. So I'm not going to be on one day. Someone could be like, he's been on every Monday and he hasn't announced that he's on, and Rural Farm Boy didn't come on and do one in his place, and Kyle didn't come on and do it, and all these people didn't come on in his place and do it. So he must have canceled the show. Well, no, that doesn't make really any sense because it just happens to be one time, and I still might do one. It might be short. It might be a different time. It might be a different day, or there might not just be one for a week. Who knows? So them saying that it's canceled at home, and he's like, nothing was canceled. We got 2 scripts written. They're working on the other ones.
Yeah.
Maybe they sat down, they got ready and say, okay, here, let's go. They're still in pre-production, so there shouldn't be any film crew to be sent home.
Yeah.
Which is still my main point. Unless until I'm not saying I'm not one of these that says show me the proof, but let me know where I'm wrong, and then I'll say that I'm wrong. That okay, they were filming and no one knows that they're filming, but they were secretly filming. That's how they got sent home.
Yeah.
It doesn't really work like that. Somebody's gonna know these things.
I think it'll happen. Just give them some time.
Yeah, and so now and then
too many people want
everybody's speculating with these rumors. Well, it's none of the people that are coming out like Jason Ward or Bestman Bulletin or anyone else that has people on the inside that they get their information from. No one so far has come out and said anything about it. No one has said yes, it's going from 4 episodes or from 6 episodes to 4, or now they're going to try and make it into a movie. It went from a movie to 6 episodes. Now it's to 4 hour-long episodes instead of 40-minute episodes or whatever, trying to make it fit. That's why they're working. No one said anything. No, they're just like, we're still working on it.
Yeah.
So, like I don't understand what the problem is. It's still supposed to come out at the same time.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we found out, and that's from Hugh McGregor that his filming schedule hasn't changed. So even if they redid things, nothing's changed in his life for it. So why is everyone going crazy? Because it's something to get clicks. It's like I said before, like that little rant I just went on. That that took some. Like I didn't really think about what I was saying. I just rolled with it. I just talked. If I went into that, like I'm tired now. I need to take a sip of my Coke. Like I need,
get a drink.
I don't know how these fucking assholes do it all the time that are getting the clicks and everything for just talking shit nonstop about how horrible Disney is and everything and being Fandom Menace assholes. Like that takes a lot of work to be such a dickhead, So, that's why when I signed up for my Anchor, I had to put that this was mature content or adult content because every once in a while I swear. Yeah. But all right, Jameson, I need you to talk about your thoughts on the Kenobi thing for a second while I go grab a phone charger and a beverage.
All right. So Kenobi, I guess my thoughts? I really
pretty cool shirt.
Hey, that is cool. Funko Pop shirt.
I mean, I figured since the show was going to be based on Rebels and Clone Wars, I figure I would dress for the occasion.
Yeah.
So what's going on, Jameson?
You got some thoughts on Clone Wars, man? New season? You excited?
I'm just watching them, man. I'm getting caught up.
Well, me too.
Earlier, when you guys were doing all that conversation, I was running around doing other stuff, just listening because I don't want to get spoiled on a lot of it. So
yeah,
I didn't join in earlier because I haven't seen all of it fully through yet, so I didn't want to get spoiled.
You talking about the Clone Wars?
Yeah.
Or, yeah. Which, I mean, I've been trying to watch all the, I guess, having a Clone Wars rewatch for the past since The Mandalorian ended. I guess that's what I've been watching mainly. And I'm through. I started season 4 today, so I think I probably should be able to get to the end by February 21st is when it's coming out. So it's I think out of all the
I might be caught up. I mean,
yeah. I think it's for the animated ones. Clone Wars is by far my favorite.
Yeah, if I don't get caught up fully by then, I'll have time because then I don't have to start it right on time. I can watch it 1 or 2 episodes right in a row if I miss.
Yeah.
So
it's so I mean, do the math. It's it was 30 days away. This is a couple days ago. Somebody was like, if you watch 4 a day, you'll be done with a couple days to spare.
Yeah.
I mean, that's they're 20 minutes, so it's an hour of, I can watch an hour of TV. That means it's an hour less of talking to you, or an hour less of, being in another chat or whatever. A lot of times when I'm at work, I rebel. I call it rebelling because I'm not allowed to listen at work, but I'll put it in an earphone.
Yeah.
My boss asked me, she's like, "What were you listening today?" I was like, "Oh, I listened to about 8 podcasts." Okay, because technically I'm not allowed to. But she didn't say anything to me, and I was actually doing something that I should not have been listening to. But I wasn't listening. I just forgot it was in my ear for all day, and I had to switch ears because it died and put in the other one. But yeah, so I really wasn't listening to anything. Other bosses that are not watching this.
Yeah, I think I have to watch. If I watch 2 episodes a day until the 20th, I'll have it done. So
yeah,
that's my plan. It's not too crazy. That's pretty. You get a Sunday or Saturday, knock 4 or 5 out. A snow day would be great. I could really get it done.
Well, that's my girlfriend. Depending on what it is, we watch a lot of shows together, and sometimes when we get a day off, we'll binge watch TV, and it's usually not one show. It's a couple episodes of one thing, a couple episodes of another thing, or one of the things we watch together is Grey's Anatomy, and we haven't watched it in a month or 2 or 3 months, but because of the Christmas break and everything, we watched 4 episodes, which we watched 4 episodes. We're caught up, and we started watching the what's the new Stephen King one? Outsider, with Ben Mendelsohn. I kept telling him, like, Mendo's in it. I was like, he made it. He was an actor. He's been acting for years. He's been in everything. He made it big with when he was in Rogue One. And I mean, after he was in Rogue One, he took off.
Yeah.
At the same time. So whether or not it was Star Wars, or whether it was Rogue One, or it just happened to be that was, Rogue One was the catalyst, or something else was the catalyst. That's why he got Rogue One. I don't really know, but we're just going to say it was Rogue One. I kept telling her, Mendo's in it. Ben Mendelsohn. She's like, I don't know who that is. She's like, oh, he kind of looks familiar. She's like, why didn't you tell me she's in it? She's from Grey's Anatomy. Oh, why didn't you tell me Jason Bateman's in it? I was like, because all I knew was Mendo was in it, and it was good because, my friend Emily Lind from the Canterbury Dispatch, who also look up the Canterbury Dispatch and look up Emily Lind on Twitter or just Google it. She is doing a GoFundMe right now. If they raise $15,000 for, I don't know, it's some group in New York City, her and her 3 friends will watch Cats on a loop for 24 hours. And I think it started off kind of more as a joke, and let's just see how much money we can raise.
Yeah. And
all of a sudden, the New York Times picked it up. People are writing articles about it and everything. So, they still have a ways to go, but so check that out. That's kind of cool. That's kind of funny. But yeah, so we started watching that, but we'll just say the streaming service I was using wasn't it wasn't coming in very well. So, because I don't have HBO, it wasn't coming in very well. So, we gave that up and watched some other stupid shit. I don't know, but like, so when she always goes to bed before I do or falls asleep before I do, we always watch something. We'll always watch something. It's usually a comedy or something funny because she doesn't want anything sad or scary before she goes to bed. And she'll fall asleep, and I'll watch an episode or two of it because I don't know she's asleep yet. Because if I turn it off, she'll be, I'm still watching, I'm awake, or she'll wake up, whatever it is. And so I end up watching an episode or two of whatever it is, and then realize she's asleep. And then the next day, I watch the same episode over, we started watching Cheers. I don't know how. I was like, let's watch Cheers. She's like, okay. I was like, are you fucking serious? She's like, yeah. I was like, all right, let's start watching Cheers. So we're watching Cheers. But if she falls asleep, I'm in bed, and sometimes I have insomnia. Sometimes I have insomnia where I don't sleep for a month or two. Sometimes I just have it where for a day or two I can't sleep. But I'll lay in bed for 3 or 4 hours just watching TV because I can't fall asleep. Last night I was up until 6 or 7 in the morning because I couldn't fall asleep. And I was on the computer doing stupid shit and watching. I don't even remember what the hell I was watching. So it's like I'll be able to knock out. I get a night or two of that after she's fallen asleep and I can't fall asleep. I'll knock out Clone Wars in a couple days.
Yeah.
So I'm not really worried about that.
Yeah.
That was just my 5-minute way to tell you guys I'm not worried about watching 100 episodes.
You're
of
gonna
Clone Wars.
You're gonna get it done.
Yeah. So. All right. Is there any other Star Wars news we're missing? I think Andy came back. We got a few other people in here that are being kind of quiet, but they can certainly go ahead and let us know if there's anything Star Wars that we forgot to talk about. Mr. Rez is here too. I don't know if there's anything else we forgot to talk about. This show really does go a lot faster when Royal Farboy is not on here. Oh no, I wish he was on here. I have a blast with him. It's just we just we will seriously sit there and argue back and forth about. I think that the saga is not over.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Charlie Skywalker. It seems like the people that have been fans or followed Star Wars the longest. That's just kind of my nice way of saying people that are older in the fandom. I wouldn't call them old, but older in the fandom. Think it's over. People that are younger, for the most part, think that it's not over. And it's just weird because they were the one, I've been in the fandom since I was born, but I was born in 1978, so I'm 40 years old. I didn't witness, when Return of the Jedi ended, I didn't know Star Wars. I knew what Star Wars was, but I didn't know it was just it was just a movie. When it ended after Revenge of the Sith, then it was over. It's like, oh shit, now we don't have any more Star Wars. Okay, but it was over. Now it's over again. But they've come out and said, well, maybe it's not over.
Yeah,
they didn't say it's a marketing ploy, but it was a marketing ploy. They said, well, maybe it's not over. Maybe in the future we'll get some more. So, that's what that's where I think my theory, and I'm not the one that came up with it. That's been going around that when Kylo brought Rey back to life and gave his life for her, he put his hand over her lady parts, not like sexually, like her womb, reproductive parts, whatever, and brought her back to life that way. And he gave her a baby. And it wasn't like I said earlier, he forced a baby in her. I didn't mean forced like he force raped her. I didn't mean that at all. I just mean like through the force put it in her. So
I think they would do a real good job of leaving things open and possible for a sequel. There's too many things that people will want to know about and that they'll be able to sell and pitch in 10, 15 years that everybody will be like, yeah, let's watch some more Skywalker Saga. It'll happen. I just it's gonna happen.
Kylo, you're texting the stream, not us or not whoever you were supposed to.
No, I know. I was texting the stream. I was answering Mr. Rez's question.
Oh, I didn't see ask a question. I thought somebody at the house asked you a question.
No. Mr. Rez was like, I think we all want a quick walkthrough of Kylo's collection again, and I mean, I wouldn't mind doing it, but we're still in the middle of that laundry room kitchen remodel, so I have stuff. I don't want to be jumping and tripping over stuff, showing off figures and stuff. So I said soon we'll get to another walkthrough review, so everybody can see it again.
Yeah, we'll do it. Excuse me. An episode of Collecting with Kylo. You know, I don't have 80 Funko Pops to open, so we'll look at his shit. But yeah, so all right, yeah. So I mean, I think that he put the Force, used the Force to bring her back to life, and when he was doing that, I don't think they're, even though he put a baby inside of her through the Force, I don't think it was a romantic thing because they were in love. I think it was a dyad thing. Whatever you want to call it, it was through the dyad that, out of compassion and love for each other, not romantic love, but love for each other, they made a Force baby together, kind of like whether or not the Force, it's still, the story group says that the Force made Anakin. That comic book was, even though it said that Sidious was trying to make Anakin, the closest it comes to the Force made Anakin because Sidious was trying to make babies, Force babies for evil. So the Force made a baby named Anakin, and to counteract whatever Sidious was doing. So it's like, yes, because of Sidious, Anakin was born, but Anakin didn't create Sidious. Well, in a way, he did. The Force created it to counteract Sidious, but so it's like, so we're gonna have episode 10 is gonna take place about 15 to 20 years in the future, maybe a little bit less, I'm not sure. And it's gonna be Rey's kid that she had with Ben, not Kylo, because Kylo's dead. Digging up those lightsabers.
There you go.
And boom, there you go. That's how we start the saga off. Or the saga goes off somewhere else, but in a flashback we find out that's how it started off. That's the catalyst for it, or the main part of it. There might be other things that we have on however things started, whatever it is. But that's going to be, I think, a main part of it.
Yeah, they have it set up. But guys, it's getting a little later.
Yeah, I'm about
to get stuff ready to roll for.
Yeah, this is honestly one of the shortest ones we've done. Because it is, and we've actually covered a lot of stuff. So I guess this is pretty good for our first episode.
Yeah.
But okay, so this is the time where I don't know if you got a minute or two, Jameson.
I do have a minute or two.
Okay. Quickly then. The gentleman at GameStop called me today and said that I had something to go pick up, and that's where I proved that I was not a Funko Pop collector, because I had these two that I already prepaid for, and I could have got a third one, paid the $12 for the third one, and got a fourth one for free. And I decided, no, I'm just going to leave with the two that I have. A real collector would have picked something up. What I should have done is I should have fucking FaceTimed Kylo and said, hey, you need any of these things over here? But we have this beautiful lady right here.
Da-da-da-da.
Oh, here. I always forget to do this.
That's nice. I don't have one. I don't have that one yet. It isn't. Nobody on here.
They got it today.
They
got it today, and they called me the armorer. So now I have all of them except for the Mandalorian himself. So,
well, you need to get him, man. He's the man.
Well, we have another box here. Let's see what we got. Oh,
I'm at over there tomorrow.
It's the Mandalorian.
Bam.
Oh, look at that!
Wow.
I'm gonna have to go over and shake them down tomorrow.
So now I have camera focus. All right. People that are just listening, I'm opening up a couple boxes from my pops, and I got the armor from the Mandalorian Funko Pop, and I got the Mandalorian number 345. So that completes the collection of all of them. Which I still don't understand. Like, why is it 327, 328, 329, 345? Like, what's in between?
There's
Like,
a number jump. A number jump.
those might be the Knights of Ren. No, because those are three.
Yeah,
I
those
got,
are Knights of Ren here, and shit, I don't remember what else. But I know
But I
six of
also
them are Ren.
I have the Mandalorian. That is the New York Comic Con exclusive with holding two guns, or whatever. So yeah. I think. Let's see. We'll do these two. I still have my books that I got from New York Comic Con that I got signed. I already had the books and bought new ones. We got some more books, though, that came in today. Jameson, I like to go on Amazon and find used books.
Hey,
and you can find some good used books. Like the one I found that opened up last week. I don't remember what book it is. It's like a $200 book, but I got it for $30. And the only thing that's wrong with it is the cover on the outside is kind of beat up and falling apart, but the book itself is pristine. But yeah, so okay, let's see. What do we got here? We have the Star Wars Ship of the Galaxy. Includes giant fold-out that reveals new ships.
Hey.
I don't know if it might not have the fold-out. That's the only thing. Oh, it does. Oh, it has the fold-out. So, yeah. Let's see what the book has in it. I don't even know what the hell. Oh, this is a Journey to the Force Awakens book. So it starts off a little picture of the droid control ship. I think this is geared a little bit more towards kids because it's like increase your galactic IQ. Anakin Skywalker destroy the droid control ship. Blah blah. Queen Amidala's ship. So I don't understand why this is all about the journey to Star Wars: The Force Awakens, but you're dealing with prequel stuff. But they have the Sith Infiltrator. So I think it's just a book they put out. Pretty cool, you know. And then I'm still waiting for our buddy Trevor Beast to get back on here. Oh, fucking A, dude, really? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here, check out this. This is the Fun Factory. I was like, oh, this looks like a cool book. It's going to be all about, like how they build the ships and stuff like that. And then when I look closer at it, because I didn't read it good enough, build and collect ships from Star Wars: The Force Awakens with lights from the Falcon. Assemble the Millennium Falcon, a TIE Fighter, and Kylo Ren shuttle. So this is actually, you see here, these are the 3 ships in here.
There you go.
That you can build. So, yeah. Once again, this is geared a little bit more towards kids, just from the way the book is. But yeah, I will have to figure out how to open this up because I don't know how it comes out to get to the ships and all the pieces. But they're just made out of paper or whatever. But yeah, all right. So that's a pretty good score.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
All right, we got a couple more. Another package right here. A couple more books. Oh, we got a couple more books. All right. We have.
What's in the box?
There's no box today. What's in the box? All right, a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, the only thing wrong with the cover is it's got a fold in the middle, but that's it. We have and a sticker in the middle of it, but it's not really. The making of episode 1, The Fandom Menace.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
And like where the other ones were like geared towards kids, here's George Lucas talking about how he's making the movie, and we got a picture of my girlfriend in there.
That's my wife.
Well, then we need to talk, brother. There's always a bigger fish. Some pictures of that. Yeah, so that was that one really quick. And then we go to this one. The only reason it's next is because I can fit it out of the package. Speaking of Rebels, we have the Star Wars Rebel visual guide.
That's pretty cool.
Hey, Framey's here.
Well, that's a really cool book looking.
Yeah.
Framey, you missed a lot. We covered Resistance, Clone Wars, Rebels, Baby Yoda, George Lucas. There's more in there too. Books, Project Luminous, just a normal Monday night. And here's what the picture looks like. Still not to the extent of the visual dictionaries. This is still geared more towards kind of towards children. It gives you a little bit of information about it. You have Agent Callus there. It gives you his stats and what he is, but that's a picture of Lothal, and yeah, so that's
pretty good one.
There's my other girlfriend. Absolutely nothing wrong with being in love with the cartoon. Dude, come on. Sabine Wren, she's pretty hot. I want to know who's gonna play her when they make her into a movie. Hera's pretty hot. Who are they gonna make her? I mean, come on.
Probably my other wife, ScarJo.
Look at those eyes. Come on, tell me that she's not. Never mind.
ScarJo.
Dude, you keep calling these people your wives. They're my girlfriends. So we're getting some.
We'll talk.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna run in the other room. I still got you on. I'm gonna step in the other room. I have to change the laundry over real quick.
All right. So here's the next book, and it's gonna be the last one for today. Going along with the visual guides, I picked up this bad boy. It's the Star Wars, the Clone Wars Visual Guide Ultimate Battles.
So you're saying Amazon one or cheap on Amazon?
Yeah. I probably have 80 to 100 Star Wars books on that list.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they're normally $20, $30.
Yeah.
And you can find they'll be on there a lot of times for 10 or 12. Every once in a while you just see one it will be $3.
Yeah.
$3 or $3 or $4 for shipping and handling costs $8. So
yeah, that's a deal.
I don't want some asshole right into me you did your math wrong because you said that it was $3 plus $3 for shipping and handling. You said $8 and it was $6, and it's but so we got you people that can't see. So you people that can't see, this is why you need to get on the YouTube after you go to the Anchor and listen. while you're doing what you're doing. And you can take YouTube too, and you can just listen to YouTube. YouTube you can put up to double speed too. I mean, this is a 2.5 hour thing. You can get it done in an hour and 10 minutes. Work your way up to double speed. You will like yourself much better. You'll get a lot more podcasts in. You'll get a lot more listening and watching in. Watching you can't do.
A lot more audiobooks. All of it.
I can't do audiobooks at 2. You need to make them up to do it. Well, because all right, you and I are sitting here talking.
Yes.
And I just finished saying talking, and I took a breath.
Yeah.
And I'm going to think of my next words to say. So there's a little break in there. So, like you can speed it up a little bit. And, when you speed it up, you get rid of a break. You kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
Somebody reading a book, they don't really stop like that.
No.
So you don't really get those breaks. It just kind of get I go a little bit faster. I go like it depends on who's reading it, but like 1.2, 1.3.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the book I'm doing, Why We Love Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I have it at 1.5.
Yeah.
Because it's just Ken Knapsack sitting there talking. He's going through. He's got a list of 100. The 100 reasons why we love Star Wars. He started at 100.
Yeah.
And he just goes through and he lists them and talks about them. You're not getting dialect and conversations going on that you really need to pick up pieces and talk to. It's more like it's like I'm listening to I paid for a podcast to listen to basically.
Yeah.
It is, but yeah. So this is a pretty good book too. I'm gonna have to pull this out while I'm reading, because I also have dude, come on, Ayla Secura. You can't tell me whoever made this didn't want us to think that she was an attractive Twi'lek, because she would have clothes on if I mean that's not trying to get too into it, but you don't show somebody half naked and be like, oh, you can't sexualize her or whatever. You've already done it by putting her in a bikini.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, it's just it's cool because you while you're looking at it, while I'm doing my rewatch, that's why I got them for my Clone Wars rewatch. I have a couple more over there, but I don't know if you can see this. It shows you what are those guys called? The little Scottish guys?
Yeah, little village people.
Yeah,
they refuse the help. They refuse.
Yeah, from like beginning of season 1 that didn't want help. When Anakin was dying.
Yeah.
But like it breaks it down like their hats, like what it means that he's got the pom pom on his hat and his leg wrap, what that means, and it's just something cool to read. Why I'm sitting there now. Of course, if I'm watching why my girlfriend has gone to bed and I'm being an insomniac and can't sleep, I can't really pull it out and read it, but they're quick reads too. But there you go, the battle in the lab. So it breaks down the battle in the lab. I didn't know that they came out with so many of these books during the Clone Wars time.
Yeah.
That talk about different.
Everything.
I think in the pile over there that I'm not opening today because I need to make sure I have some stuff for. Well, I always have some stuff laying around, but that's going to be for next week. Is going to be. I think one of them is ships of the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm. True, that's probably a big one.
So, Framey said that Chloe Bennett from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would make a great Sabine. I think so. There's been that's the thing. A lot of names are being thrown around, especially with the Mandalorian season 2. A lot of the list came out of the people that are playing are going to be in there, and it's all BS because some of the people don't even make sense. Like why they have characters, why they have actors coming back that are playing a character this season that are coming back next season, aren't named but are named something like Chancey Brown, whatever the hell his name is. The big dude he was the red guy.
Berg or something like that, is it? Or no?
They said he's coming back to play a Berg. Why is he coming back to play an animal? Like seriously, he's already there.
Established.
So like, why are they going to make something up for that? Do we have a solid date for the Rebels art book. No, I don't know if you were here though. Oh, you were here when I picked up the Rebels visual guide. Yeah, a couple of the books I looked for too. I tried to make sure I got some Rebels or some Clone Wars in with this batch, but that's the thing I love about Amazon. I think I got a $50 gift card for Christmas, and I picked up those 5 books, and I have 2 or 3 more over there that I got. So for $50, if you play it right, you can get them for.
That's good.
You know,
That's a good deal.
Yeah, I mean, you get them for with shipping, maybe $8, $10. So, and those are, the expensive ones. Well, I mean, not the expensive ones, but no, I don't know if we have a date for the Rebels art book. I want the Clone Wars art book, which I didn't know was a thing. That motherfucker is expensive though. That's like $120, even used. Because they made it 10 years ago and they only made a couple. They didn't make any more, and now everybody wants it. So even used, I don't know how much it was originally, but you can't find it. So yeah, if anybody finds, I'll look and see which one it was. I think it was the Clone Wars art book. I am looking for that. If they find it cheap, God only knows somebody's gonna find it at a the Art of Star Wars, the Art of Star Wars Clone Wars. Right now, the cheapest they have it is $140 on Amazon. And I looked it up, and I found somebody over in the Middle East or whatever. It was still the same price, and then somebody else over in Europe, and it was still the same price. So I don't know if there's another place to look for used books, but it's like right now I'm just looking in. Making behind the scenes of Star Wars Episode 2: Attack of the Clones is $4.99. Used. Yeah. So it's $4.99 plus $4 for shipping and handling, so it's $9. It says acceptable, but I usually try and go for good or very good. But it goes from acceptable for $8 to very good's 20, and or I found one for 14. But that just means that it's not going to be written in and stuff like that, because I mean, if it was that, it just, I don't want it. You don't know what it's going to be written in. Is somebody going to draw over the pictures, and then I'm trying to look at the pictures, and somebody wrote on it? Did somebody make notes in the margin? That's not that bad, but you can't really tell just by. That's the only thing, you're just kind of guessing. So
well, it's time for me to go. All right.
Yeah, man.
Hey, thanks for letting me come on and talk. Thanks for anybody who's listens to the podcast too. I appreciate it, but we'll do it again for sure.
Yeah. Before you leave, tell everybody once again where to find you.
Oh, the Rancor Review. You can find me on Twitter at the Rancor Review. Email Rancor Review, and that's about it. So
yeah, kind of like me. He's type in Rancor Review and you're going to find him. But
pretty much.
You're welcome anytime. Just stop by, say hi. You don't need to be on for 2.5 hours like you were today. Yeah. You can. I mean, people. Andy came on for 20 minutes or half hour, or whatever. Maybe it was probably closer to an hour, but he's been on for a couple times. He just pops in and says, "Hey, I have a question. What do you think about this?" Yes. It's kind of like, instead of writing into if you're free on a Monday night, instead of writing into a podcast,
there you go.
Pop on here and say, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And whether it's me or, I mean, you do a podcast, and Andy does a podcast, and Ro does a podcast, and half the people that are in here normally are podcasters. So it's like you're gonna get a big group of people answering your question. So that's kind of what this thing is becoming, and what I like about it.
Yeah.
Mr. S says location. All right, dude. I'm gonna stop talking so you can go.
All right, thanks, man. Hey, I appreciate it.
All right, have a good one.
See you.
Bye.
See you later.
All right. Should I open up those last 2 sets of books I have, or should I save them for next week?
No, you plan on getting anything else by then?
I don't know.
I mean, you can always hang on to them for next week, just to make sure you have something to open up.
Yeah, but I have them right now to open. That's the problem. I'm gonna save them. I got 4. See, that's the thing. I got these books. That's the only problem, that I got these books, and I probably won't even go through them right now because, reading them all, and Mr. S said go through them and get more stuff. Um, you know. So yeah, well, see, Mr. S, that's the problem. My Patreon and any money that is brought in to here goes for making this stream and podcast and my YouTube channel better. So I can't use that money for my Patreons and that. Like, I guess on Anchor, I don't know about this, but on Anchor, you can just go to Anchor and be like, here's $10. I want to give you some money. And I guess you can do that on Patreon too. Like, just like a one time, here's $20. Thanks a lot. Or, oh, you're going to buy a new camera at $600 and I can't go follow you at Celebration, or I can't go to Celebration, so I'm going to follow you. Here's $50 towards your camera. Thanks. I guess you can do that with Patreon and stuff like that. I guess that's how those girls make money when they take their clothes off. It's like $50. But anyways, maybe I should start doing that. All right, start paying me money, or I'm going to take my clothes off. I'm doing the opposite way. But yeah,
Pay to keep the shirt on. Keep your clothes on. We'll pay you.
Yeah, I think that does it for today. I think we had a good first episode. We had some people in here. We had some new friends. We had some old friends. We had people pop in, pop out. People stay for hours. That's pretty much what the TooMedToo's Bacta Tank's all about.
The first official episode?
First official episode. The previous episodes, you will have to, at this moment, go and find them on YouTube. Yeah, so the 27th is going to be, I think it actually says in the title, number 1, TooMedToo's Bacta Tank, whatever it says, I don't even know.
Number 1, TooMedToo's Bacta Tank Star Wars live chat 127.
That is the title of today's episode. Nothing fancy, nothing pretty, because a lot of times people record their episodes, and then after whatever happened in their episode, then they think up a name. I got to do this beforehand, so I don't know what's going to happen. So I just say, here you go. And then I forgot to last week, but it doesn't really matter because it doesn't count. And this week it's going to have, people listed by their Twitter handles or whatever that were in or on in the Bacta Tank, not in the chat. That's what the screen. The screen is the Bacta Tank. On the side is the chat. So that's what it's become. So yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling about this. And Kylo, you can stay on for a second if you want. But so yeah, Kylo, thank you for stopping by. Kylo from Kylo Customs. You can find him on Instagram, and he's on Twitter, but he never uses it because you can't punch people. You can't punch people through the. You can't punch people through the computer, so he got off Twitter.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about going back on it and using it again, just to be able to communicate and with more people.
I've been trying to not argue with people as much or give my opinion because it doesn't matter. Whatever I have, if somebody's a fucking idiot, my opinion is not going to change their opinion. So me getting an argument with them isn't really going to do anything unless it's something I feel strongly about. But I don't even think, I'm not going to get into political debates or things like that like I used to do that used to upset some people and whatever. Now it's just kind of, when it's a Star Wars thing or whatever, but yeah. So, all right, everyone in the chat, thank you very much. I know we have Mr. Rez left in here. Framey, thank you very much. Benzo H, I think you're still in here. I'm looking at people that were just in here a few minutes ago. Yeah, that's going back. There's still a bunch of people in here, but we're being quiet. That's fine. Just come and hang out, and that's what we gotta do.
Nick's still Nick's still in here.
I wonder if I can do this.
Nick is one of our troopers. He stays the long haul with us.
Yeah, I talked to Nick a little bit on Instagram. Me and Nick are, I was say trying to work out some issues, but no, he, that's kind of what the community is about. He's got something for me, and I want it, and we're working on that. So, yeah, I'm trying to see here if I can. While it's going on live, if I can get on here and see something. Okay.
So anyways, I'm just going to show something that I picked up.
Yeah, dude.
Set the other.
Show it away.
I grabbed the client and then the covert Mandalorian, the green one.
Okay.
So now I have to go shake those guys down about the armor, since the armor is starting to hit. That's the only one. That's the only one I'm missing that's technically out right now.
I believe it just came in today. I mean, they called me today and told me, so I don't know if different stores are probably gonna get them on different days, so they might not have come in today, but I don't know their warehouses from and Washington, or the main part is in Washington, but yeah. So
when I heard the pre-orders come out first, I didn't get a chance to pre-order with GameStop, but I did do the backup pre-order with Amazon. So what I usually do is I backup order with Amazon, and then I take my chances with stores. And if I don't get them in the stores, I have them pre-order with Amazon. So I mean, it's Amazon sits as my backup for like I just pre-ordered the new Empire Strikes Back set, and then if I find them in the stores, I can always just cancel my order with Amazon if I find them beforehand. So they're kind of like, that's my backup plan I use. So right now the armor is sitting with Amazon right now, unless I find it somewhere else.
Okay.
So pretty much how that rolls. But I'm pretty stoked about the Empire Strike Back set, though.
Yeah, man, that's going to be. Now, this is my other thing too. You would know better than me. That was London Comic-Con, or London Toy Fair. I mean, I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
And what's going to happen then? With shit, this is completely wrong. Nothing. I'm just talking to myself. I'm learning stuff still on this. What's going to happen at New York Comic-Con or New York Toy Fair? I know that is usually heavy into like toys. I mean, I know Funko Pops are toys, but or action figures, I should say. You get a lot of Transformers coming out and things of that nature. A lot of Black Series are going to be announced there. Do you think we're going to get a second wave of Funkos
Empire
coming out
from Empire?
Yeah.
When is the New York Toy Fair?
February, the weekend of February 15th, or the weekend of February 16th. I think it's like the 14th, 15th, 16th. It's around my birthday. Okay. So I just know, I don't know the exact date, but it's somewhere around the 14th, 15th, somewhere around Valentine's Day.
I think last year they did reveal some. So I think how they do it is, I think part of it gets revealed at the London Toy Fair, and then some more gets revealed at the New York Toy Show. I know last year New York Toy Show, a couple of them came out that were just absolutely ridiculous, and I was able to get my hands on them, and I was happy because they revealed some pretty sweet ones last year, so hopefully they'll do the same this year. And then Celebration's going to reveal more. So,
Okay.
And then
Yeah,
Emerald City in March might have one or two. So I mean, they're going to trickle throughout the rest of the year, all the way up until your guys' con in October. Because New York Comic Con is going to have at least one there or two that they're going to reveal sometime late summer.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Anybody that wants to know about your Funko Pops, that's why you need to sometime check out Collecting with Kylo. We that's a new thing here on our YouTube channel. It's not going to be on a stream or it's going to be on a stream. It's not going to be on Anchor or anything else. Right now, I'm just going to be on Anchor, and hopefully, I'll be getting on some other stuff pretty soon. But got to start with baby steps. I had no intention of doing it, and then I just decided yesterday. There's a lot of, like I said earlier, there's a lot of people that don't like YouTube. So no matter how much they like me or like someone else, they're not going to go on YouTube to watch something or listen to something. So I got to go on to something else, and Anchor is the easiest one because I just switch this over, get rid of the video, and do the audio, break it down from an MP4 to MP3, load it up, and it's good to go. So they say. But I know about a half hour ago I said I was getting off here, so now I really got to do it because we're turning into long ass time again. So,
right.
All right. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Thank you everyone for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to whatever you can. Podcast, YouTube, especially do the YouTube so I can get up to 1,000 subscribers so I can live stream mobily from not San Diego, from Star Wars Celebration, Anaheim. And throw the Patreons, do whatever you gotta do. Throw me money, don't throw me money. Watch, that's good enough support for me. With that, I said good day. May the force be with you.